Ball's on the 40-yard line. It's 2nd down and 5. Not a big movement forward, however, the champions will remain at the 40-yard line.
Hey, Kevin, live.
That'll bring up 3rd and 5.
A very pleasant good evening to you as we welcome you to Cesar Chavez High School, home of the champions. Kevin Derryberry alongside Cody Cameron, and we are underway here in Laveen. Cody, welcome in. We got a good one on store for you tonight. Cesar Chavez enters with a 3-2 record, taking on the Roy Lopez-led Desert Ridge Jaguars. It hasn't gone so well for Coach Lopez in his first 5.
No, it hasn't. And Coach Lopez, something I really respect about him, Kevin, is he always schedules a gauntlet in the non-region play. And, man, they play Perry, Hamilton, Mountain View, Red Mountain, Williamsfield. They're in region play here. They started last week dropping 1-2 Mountain View, but look to get rolling like they did last year in region play. So big statement for her tonight.
Here it is, Mason Penrod, the champions, have the football, and they took the kickoff, and they've been on a very nice drive here. The opening kickoff was received by MJ Woodbury, the all-region second-team kick returner and punt returner. And here it is. They turned the franchise over. Chandler Hovick in his first year, he was at Central a year ago. We've seen what's happened at Central in the last month, but what Coach Hovick has done here in a short time at Cesar Chavez has been very impressive.
And not just on the field with his on-field presence, Kevin, just what he brings as a role model. He's a tremendous individual. He's been a head coach now for about 5 or 6 years, but he started being a head coach when he was 24 years old at Central High School. He's an incredible human being.
I couldn't have said that any better. And this is going to be, I believe it's Penrod, going to put the foot to the pigskin. It's going to be a punt inside the 10-yard line, and with the hustle play down there for Chavez, that's special team stub. It really is the all-talent wide receiver. That's Nevin Reed, and for Nevin Reed at 6'170", he was the first one to the football.
Yeah, he was, and kind of like with both of these teams, they don't have super huge rosters. Desert Ridge has a ton of guys hurt in this football game, Kevin. So both teams barely dressed over 30 players. So we're going to see these athletes on both sides of the football and making an impact on special teams. The good thing for Chavez, they got some dudes who can cook out here, and they're tremendous special teams players as well.
There are a lot of very, very talented athletes all over the gridiron here. This will be the first look at the Desert Ridge offense, and their quarterback is Andre Gonzalez. Gonzalez, 6'1", 150. He's a lanky young man, but he's got a good arm, and he's got 4 wide receivers to work with on this opening snap. It's a high snap, and they go to the air and making a catch in between the hash marks for Desert Ridge. First pass of the game is complete to Lamar Stevens. Stevens looks like he's one of those two-way guys, and to your point, Cody, about the really the lack of body counts for both programs, in particular for Roy Lopez and Desert Ridge. They're only suiting up about 34 guys tonight on their varsity roster. They do have a JV team as well as a freshman squad, so the numbers are good there. But here at the varsity level, they need some help.
Yeah, big time. And like I said, they're going to see a lot of these players going both ways naturally.
That was a gain of 8. This is another pass play. They dump it off to the tailback, making the reception. That is Michael Alvarado, and Alvarado's going to find his way to first down yardage. Working right to left is Desert Ridge. First drive of the game for this Desert Ridge offense. We mentioned that Coach Lopez will take his team to the gridiron here tonight with a record of 0-5 in this all 6A Fiesta Region contest tonight, Cody.
Yeah, Michael Alvarado, going back to that play, you're going to hear his name called a million times. He's one of my favorite football players on this Desert Ridge team. Comes in and leading the team in all-purpose yards. He's everywhere. They utilize him out of the backfield, in the slot. He's a tough, hard-nosed kid, not the biggest kid in the world, but a really good high school football player.
You mentioned the all-purpose yardage leader, 198 through a few ball games for Chavez, they played 5. Desert Ridge has played 5. In fact, if you go back to last year, Coach Lopez and this Desert Ridge Jaguar team, they've lost 7 straight.
Yeah, but it was the same thing, though. It's like last year, too, Coach Lopez always schedules an absolute brutal gauntlet in the non-region. And I really respect that, and it prepared him for region play, where I think they won 3 games in region play last year. So hoping for the same would be a monster road win here today for the Jags.
2nd and 12 from the 23-yard line. High snap for Gonzalez. He's going to drop it off to the tailback, and the tailback is in trouble. And once again, with the call, that was all-region second-teamer, Michael Alvarado. The before-mentioned Michael Alvarado. How about that? Cody Cameron is everywhere in the East Valley. He's all over the State 48. And yet we get tonight here in Levine, one of his favorite players is Michael Alvarado out of Desert Ridge. That's outstanding. Champions look like they're going to bring pressure with 3. They've got 4 on the line. Snap back to Gonzalez, and before he can get the football, we're going to have a penalty marker thrown down.
Which one's your favorite?
There's a slight chance you could hear the background voice. It's the PA voice here in Levine. And if you can hear it at home, just think what we can hear. We're just to the right of the press box, but it is thunderous coming from that speaker here in Levine.
Hey, we deal with all the elements, right? High school football broadcasting added to the list, but good crowd. Absolutely love the environment here. Chavez has been here a couple times. You got the South Phoenix Mountain Range to your right side here on the home booth. You got a beautiful shot of downtown Phoenix on your left side. What an incredible stadium here.
It is an absolute spectacular view here as we have fallen on at nightfall here. Gonzalez out of the gun, back to throw, looking left, steps through the pocket, rolls to his right, drops it off to the tailback again. It's Alvarado. That's his second catch of this ball game. And for Alvarado, he's just going to fall forward for a couple of yards. But flying to the football, those purple jerseys as the champions get after the tailback, and there's nothing doing on that 3rd and long play.
Well, when you look at the improvement from this Chavez team, what I really see is their defensive effort, Kevin. And it was evident in their first game. They lose to Chandler 27-18, and that was a football game they could have won. To kick off the season against the Wolves, a top 8 team in the state of Arizona. Incredible performance. They absolutely fly to the ball defensively. That's a big improvement of this Chavez team.
This is listed as Alexander Mercado. Does he get the punt away? He does. MJ Woodbury will not have a chance at it all. A lot of pressure coming towards the punter, and you have to give it up to the special teams up front as the champions were looking to get after that football.
Well, about 5 players that are about to block a kick last week at Moon Valley. What do we have, like 2 or 3 blocks and a couple bad snaps? And
there was a safety or 2.
Oh, we always say it, high school football, it really comes down, and a lot of these games, it comes down to special teams unit. Chavez just going kind of all-out blitz there. Gunners didn't block the outside, almost come away with a big play. But now they start possession number 2 in Desert Ridge territory with great field position on the 38.
So it'll be the quarterback, Mason Penrod. He began his high school career playing for Sparty, playing for the Camelback Spartans. And for Cesar Chavez, they're wearing their home purple jerseys with the gray pants with the purple piping. Penrod will hand it off. This is his starting tailback, and this should be Ferris. Let's make sure we got him. That's Ferris Jenkins. He wears number 3. He's a super sophomore. And it's interesting, through the first 5 games for Ferris Jenkins, he's their leading rusher, but he hasn't recorded a 100-yard game yet, but he just gets it done with his effort.
Yeah, 332 yards on the ground coming in here, also 3 tutties.
They go back to Ferris. And he ran right into that teeth of that Jaguar defense.
And I'm gonna beat you to the punch here, and I'll see if I pronounce this right. Tuoatu. Big number 73, the sophomore for Desert Ridge, shedding a block for the Jags. And 73, Tuoatu is another name, one of these phenom sophomores here in the state of Arizona who's playing tremendously well both ways for Desert Ridge.
Yeah, he's a good player. Penrod to the air, under pressure, rolls to the far side, and he's going to get sacked. Andrew Hines, a very disruptive defensive player for Will Lopez's team, gets the quarterback, gets the sack, and I believe he also stripped the football, Cody.
Yeah, one of the stud juniors on this Desert Ridge team, showing a tenacity and some violence, getting to the quarterback, ripping him down. Ball also came loose, popped out of bounds there, but it's the junior, Andrew Hines, making a big play here in the first quarter for Desert Ridge defensively.
First sack of the game for Deuces, Andrew Hines. And for Andrew, he comes in with 4 tackles, but he looks like he just exploded at the quarterback. A big loss for Mason Penrod and company. It's 4th and 17 from the 45-yard line of the Jaguars, and this will be another pooch punt by Penrod. And he angles to the 20-yard line, and it's going to hit Nevin Reed, and that is where the Desert Ridge offense will get the football for the second time. And it's called what it is. In this first quarter, the Jaguars are playing some impressive and inspired football.
Yeah, and their defense is led by a coach who's coached in the state of Arizona for a million years, Sammy Johns. He was also one of the best high school football players when he played about 57 million years ago, and I can't wait to cut that up and show him. Sammy Johns is amazing. He's electrifying. His players play with that same tenacity too, Kevin, and honestly, like I said, they've played some absolute juggernauts early, so it doesn't surprise me that both of these defenders are playing well here in the first quarter.
Second drive of the game here for Desert Ridge. Gonzalez completing 63% of his passes, and a late arrival to the field here for Desert Ridge is their left tackle. And I'd love to share with you who that left tackle is. I know he's a two-way young man, that's for sure.
Two ought to.
It is.
Well, and that's what's interesting about going both ways.
Where do you have that? Where do you have
7-3 on D Ridge. Max Prep screwing you over again, Kevin. Here's the thing about 6'8", right? You usually don't see the two-way player because these guys have so much depth. There's a guy coming off a defensive series where he played really well. He's just trying to get some water, you know, and he has to go play left tackle for you. He's late to the possession.
All right, 2nd and 9 from the 19. Gonzalez has 4 wide receivers to work with. Snap is back, under pressure, stepping through the pocket, dropping it off for Alvarado with a big hole up the middle and a lot of room to run for Michael Alvarado. Penalty marker back at the 15-yard line. And Cody, I'm just going to guess that this one's coming back. It's going to be holding. And our white hat official, Pat Jaranis, right there to make the call. Let's introduce our officiating crew. The headlines is Mike Montañez, the head linesman. Dale Freese is the line judge. Our back judge is Grady Mack, and the umpire is Rod Simkowski.
That's beautiful. Nice job.
So the penalty marker, and it was a hold. And how about that improvisation there by the quarterback, Andre Gonzalez, and he's utilizing his tailback, Michael Alvarado, who's really unaccounted for defensively.
Yeah, they're without their starting tailback, big Reggie Regenball here tonight, and so Michael Alvarado is going to see a ton of touches, backfield and in the slot.
Ryan Regenball, the honorable mention player, not dressed tonight, and that pass complete out the flat, second catch of the game for Desert Ridge. That's Lamar Stevens. And for Lamar Stevens, he hauled in his 8th catch of the year, 6 for 44 prior to the 2 receptions here tonight. But after that holding penalty, Desert Ridge really going to be playing behind the sticks on this drive.
Yeah, like the corner coming up, just sending cloud coverage in the flat, coming up making a secure tackle, 3rd and long situation for the offense.
Lamar Stevens lines up just to the left of the formation. 2 wide receivers to the wide side of the field. It's Alvarado flanked to the left of Gonzalez. On the far side at wide receiver, that's Owen Brennan. Long count. Play clock not visible. Gonzalez to the air, under pressure, and he's going to go down. He's going to get sacked. Nice work coming through the A-gap. So it would look, it was Kayvon Mata, the defensive tackle for Chavez, and Tyus Graves also involved in the play. They got home here on a 3rd down and long, and now it's going to be 4th and forever, Cody.
And Tyus is the leading tackler for the Chavez team. Coming into the game, 41 total tackles as well, and it goes back to that defense. This is what they do. They wreak havoc in the backfield. They have 1 million tackles for loss through the first 5 games of the season here, Kevin. They were active. They were active at attacking the quarterback. That was a big thing Coach Hovick wanted to do, and they're showing it here in the first quarter.
High snap, and this one is a high booming punt. MJ Woodbury is going to direct some traffic, and it'll be down at the 35-yard line. Nice work on special teams there by Cody Judd. So both teams' offense has yet to get going, and the defense is looking pretty good on both sides here. No score opening quarter. 33 seconds remaining in our first 12. And we are trying to get it down on the field.
Seconds left to play in the first
and I don't
quarter,
know if we have our communication look down there.
I hope so. I hope so. I'm trying to get the lower third box down here as well. Shout out to our crew, though, some of the best crew in the state of Arizona. But lower third box, and we got a surprise on the broadcast. Hopefully, we can unveil that.
That's right. This is a handoff running on the right side again for Cesar Chavez. That's Ferris Jenkins. Jenkins 5'9", 180. And for Jenkins, he's coming off a 41-yard effort in the game last week.
These are young players too, Kevin. I mean, Mason Penrod, starting quarterback, he's a sophomore. Ferris Jackson, he's a sophomore. There was a ton of sophomores and juniors starting for the Chavez team.
From the 31 on the near hash mark, Penrod has two wide receivers to his left. Snap is back. They give it to Ferris Jenkins, sweeping right, and he gets decked to the backfield. Boy, a nice job of penetrating the backfield. And once again, there's no 42 on
that was number 4
roster.
Mackay.
Did you see 42?
Nope, it's Max Prep's roster all year long. We got a lot of John Does.
Sometimes you wonder if you even saw 42. If we did see 52, it was Caden Bloss. Our first 12 are in the books. We're going to pay some bills. You are watching Thursday Night Football on the State 48 Broadcast Network.
What's inside you? Is it strength? Is it speed? Is it knowledge of the game? Unlocking the greatness inside you means digging deeper, running faster, and going further than you can on your own. Banner Sports Medicine High Performance Center trains the athlete in all of us with technology, techniques, and hands-on experience customized to you. See what you're capable of by unlocking the greatness inside of you.
A little to the left, please. Thank you. A little more.
Oh, I'm okay. Get your money working. And for a limited time, get 0% interest for 6 months when you open a new Visa credit card at America First.
Come on down to the Cesar Chavez concession stand. We're open today. Come on down.
Oh my God. To the home of the champion, Cesar Chavez High School, back to work. Penrod has his pass batted down. I'll tell you what, wreaking some havoc. I mean, causing carnage in the backfield again. It was Andrew Hines.
It ricochets off the Jaguars' hand.
So the clock is stopped after that batted ball down by Hines. Let's take it down to the field and introduce
We're showing 4th down
our third member of our broadcast team.
On the Jaguar 33-yard line.
Oh, we're going to pause on that. All right, this is Penrod. Back to throw, looking left, has some time. The pocket's going to collapse, and he's going to get sacked. It's 73 once again for Desert Ridge, the two-way standout. He's looking pretty good. Let's head it down to Ariana Bright-Price. Ariana?
Turns out we're going to have a turnover on downs here, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Kevin. I'm here tonight at Cesar Chavez High School celebrating senior night for the band and the choir and breast cancer awareness. I'll be bringing it back to you, Kevin.
All right, back to the broadcast. Desert Ridge takes over. 11:51 here in the second quarter. Ball on the left side hash. Empty set for the quarterback. Quarterback keeper to the left side. Pops it down the left sideline, picking up 9 yards on that quarterback keeper end around. They fake the jet sweep, end around to the left side, and pick up 9 on that first quarter. Play-by-play broadcasters back. I'm not going to lie, man. That play I had, Andre Gonzalez 9 yards wraparound read option, it was fire. It was a good call. It's a good call.
Outstanding call. And a big gain on the play. 73 is To'oto.
Leonidas Tuatu.
Leonidas To'oto. It's To'oto. Alvarado to the outside. and they will bounce it and then runs right out of bounds and then just falls on his keister. So Alvarado is helped up.
Number 7, Michael Alvarado.
Here's why I like Alvarado, and I preluded it earlier in the show saying, hey, favorite player, Desert Ridge. He is a tough, hard-nosed football player. Think some of those Red Mountain players, some of those Highland players, not quote-unquote, right, extremely recruitable player, all these they are just darn good high school football players, and they are going to be impact players for you because of their effort. And that's Michael Alvarado for Desert Ridge.
And you got to applaud that effort, no doubt about it. All right, this is a quarterback change. And now with the football, that was Blake Julian. Julian looks like he's a southpaw. Julian, 6 foot 170. And we'll see Julian out there.
Yeah, Coach Lopez told me this was coming. So I believe this is Coach Lopez, one of his nephews. Coach Lopez has a big family. From Apache Junction, he's related to 150 people out there. But Blake's one of his nephews. He had to sit half the season. So we have entered week 6, partner.
That's right.
These transfers are eligible. He's one of those kids.
We've also entered October as well.
What is that? Is that hawk noises coming from PA?
2nd and 11 from the 47-yard line. Julian back to throw, steps up in the pocket, dumps it off over on a crossing route. Making the reception is Royce McClain, and he gets dropped immediately. Nice pursuit of the football by the Champions. Making the defensive stop, that was Gage Highsmith. Give him the tackle. And nice little crossing route. Ball was delivered on time. Just a better defensive play by Highsmith.
Yeah, like you said, I think with the mesh of it, it's supposed to confuse the inside backers, but they did a great job of staying home and letting that funnel to them. So what I'm seeing from Chavez right now, just a really well-coached defensive unit.
Julian takes the shotgun snap in empty, rolls the far side, throws on the run, and that pass is complete downfield. Making a spectacular grab. That was Boima Sion. So Sion makes a spectacular grab as he high points the football on an absolute dart from Blake Julian.
How about the high point, too? Going up with both hands. We get a replay of that. I know it's a no huddle, no offense, but man, what a catch. What a great ball and a catch. The southpaw rolling left, setting his feet, delivering a strike on 3rd down.
Gain of 21 yards. High snap for Julian. The delay handoff to Alvarado, bounces it outside, and he'll turn the corner, and he'll continue to drive his legs, and with the help of his offensive line and everybody else, he's going to pick up about 9 yards.
You see what I'm seeing, partner? Just as the legs churning, running through would-be tacklers. It would look like a gain of 1 or 2 turns into 8.
The right tackle, Emery Wright, on the left side of the play, finishing the runs. How about 6 foot 265? So it's Desert Ridge with an inspired drive here in the early stages of quarter number 2 in a scoreless ball game.
Hey, they faced all the juggernauts already. You know, after you have a non-region slate like that, you're geared up and ready to go.
You're battle tested for region play.
Absolutely.
In the red zone for the first time tonight. And it's Julian fumbles, the snap ball's loose, and there's a scrum for the football. And here comes Cesar Chavez with the football. This is Tyus Graves. He's going to go 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. That's going to be a swoop and score. Unofficially 85 yards for the house call. Tyus Graves, and it's a defensive touchdown here first, here in Levine.
And we give the praise, but you're not 0-5 for just schemes not working. Stuff like that happens. You lose the turnover battle. But how about the class of 2026? Tyus Graves for Chavez, picking up the scoop and running about 75-plus yards to the house for the first touchdown of the game, coming from the Chavez defense.
Cody already pointed out he's the leading tackler on this squad with 41 tackles. And how about the scoop and score running away from that Desert Ridge offense?
Yeah, just beautiful. I mean, they just attack the ball carrier, and when you put effort like that in, good things happen. Right place, right time.
And on for the point after try. And the point after try is unsuccessful. This is Charlton Apperty.
Point after touchdown is unsuccessful.
Looks good to me right there, Kevin.
Charlton Apperty, and he is a write-in candidate here.
I got to tell you, week 6 of Arizona high school football, and we say it every single week, and it's not the coaches. Max Prep is absolutely destroying these rosters. What they're doing, they're pulling from all 3 levels. They're getting numbers confused.
Huddles in there.
Yeah, you think it's all set, And then come game day, everything's messed up. So I feel for these coaches and parents, and it's extra time to put into max preps. You kind of want to make sure it's done the first time. But when max preps is doing that, man, it's just brutal. Brutal for a broadcast,
and
too.
Cody, the only information that we ever get, game notes, anything that we put together, any kind of knowledge, it's put together on our own, right?
Yep.
There's no research department here. As much as we'd like to have one. Wouldn't that be fantastic? You just call the AIA office.
Oh, beautiful.
I need game notes for this
I will tell you, ironically, Brophy and Notre Dame Prep, when we did NDP, that whole player folded, amazing. And I know Brophy, they have an actual SID. There's a little bit of different money at those two schools.
Yes, there is.
But they do a great job, man. Really good job. That is a collegiate environment.
One of the things I've always appreciated is to know what schools that these kids attend prior to high school. And Brophy has that list for us. It's pretty cool. All right, here's Apperty. His kick is downfield. And on the return, here for Desert Ridge with some space, this is Royce McLean. And Royce McLean continues to stay on his feet. He's at the 30 with blockers to the 20. Remains outside to the 10, the 5. And he is going to be in the end zone for a touchdown. Desert Ridge scores on the ensuing kickoff, and they take it to the house. There's a penalty marker dropped at the 42-yard line. And let's see if this one stands. And you get the feeling here, the vibe is taking us back towards the play.
Yeah, it's holding on Desert Ridge, but I would love to see a replay of this, Kevin, because it looked clean. We had two kick-out blocks right there on the 30. They're saying one of them got dragged down. I think it was a complete pancake. If we get a replay of this, we'd love the on-field replay. Would be amazing. Because, Kevin, I think there were just two kickouts. They might have gotten okay, here we go. Let's see.
That's just tough.
Well, that's fumble return.
That's the previous play. And I tell you what, Graves,
he was cooking.
Leading the pack. The closest one to him with the hustle play was Michael Malcolm.
Yeah, so there's the end of the kick return play. The turf monster
good
almost
stock
got him.
blocking by his teammates.
Yeah, it's three guys down there, with them still blocking. Once again, a team that's 0-5.
That's just a tough break.
It's a killer, right? You're having a great offensive drive, a fumble for a scoop and score. You take the ensuing touchdown or kickoff back for a touchdown, and you get a call back from a holding. Well, we won't know if it's holding or not. But
you're in the red zone. You're knocking on the door, or you're at the proverbial doorstep if you prefer, right?
The quarterback keeper, there's a hole.
So back to the southpaw. Here's Blake Julian, and Blake Julian goes straight ahead, and he'll take it out to the 40-yard line.
First down.
So Julian showing you his dual threat capability here. It's 6-0 here in the second quarter. And I can tell you that scoreboard is coming. That graphic element is on the way, and look at that. Just ask for it.
Nice job.
And there it is, 6-0. The old abracadabra. That was my best David Copperfield right there.
Just so there's no confusion.
And I'll tell you what, I hear the PA.
We got 8 minutes and 10 seconds to that.
Yeah, he's talking about confusion. And I'm saying 10 seconds on the long team scoreboard. And I'm like, there's no way that second quarter is flying by like that.
No.
There's 8:10 remaining in this
Ladies and gents,
first half.
That play's gonna skew. A player is moved when he wasn't supposed to.
The PA announcer is hilarious. I just say that.
There is some comedic element to his style, but it's also, I don't know that you want to hear that through 4 quarters.
Loud is the word you're talking.
7:52 to go. It's a 6-0 ball game. The champions have the lead. Wow. Doubles to the right for Julian. Trips to the wide side. Ball's at the 27-yard line. Seriously, we didn't want to hear this guy any longer. He's overdone. You gave him a nice compliment, and now he just killed it by continuing to ramble on. And that pass, far sideline, making a diving attempt on the sideline, is 20. I got no 20. Unbelievable.
No 20 and no catch for 20.
I honestly want people to know I start my charade to get information on Sunday night. And I go through 4 days, and I got to leave my house about 2 o'clock on a Thursday to make the field, make the venue. Mm-hmm. And at 2 o'clock, I cut it off, and I get no more information until now, till kickoff. So it is, and I ask every week the same
Just under 7.5
same types of questions.
minutes
Is the roster accurate? Are the numbers accurate? Is there anything that I can learn about,
Tonight's
blah,
game
blah,
is being
blah. But we're
broadcast
talking,
live, ladies and gentlemen.
and Cody has mentioned it on multiple broadcasts. The support we have is nil. Julian to the air, under pressure, evades the pressure. He's going to take off and run, and Blake Julian does a nice job.
So if you've got
He was
friends and
trapped in
family
the
at home,
backfield
be sure to look
and then
at the
put his foot in the
AIA
ground and then
website for details.
darted right up the middle for at least making a positive gain out of what was going to be a train wreck in the backfield.
How about the spin? Spinning to elude the defender and the finish, man. Finishes through a couple would-be tacklers. Early on, just 2 possessions with this junior quarterback, Blake Julian, you kind of see the offense going forward. Yeah, I've watched a lot of Desert Ridge tape this year. A lot of Desert Ridge tape. That offense, to put it nicely, Kevin, has struggled. They have really struggled. If you look at total yards and the turnover margin in their first 5 where they went 0-5, it's just been kind of brutal. I think a couple reasons there. These guys lost 30-plus seniors off last year's team. And Desert Ridge they are not a Red Mountain or Highland in terms of number now, where both of those have 160 to 180 players. They are sitting comfortably at about 100. Okay, so when you lose a senior class with 30-plus kids, where 10 to 12 of them are playing collegiately, it's 2 things. One, great job for the coaching staff and those kids to create opportunities.
Big time.
But the cons to that, you got a lot of holes to fill. You don't have a lot of seniors and juniors who had playing time, and that's what's happened the first 5 weeks. But right now, after the first half of the season, some of those young kids growing up, I've seen some productivity and some good drives by this Desert Ridge team, and defensively, they still haven't given up any points today.
Well, the one thing that you know is they're going to be coached well. The entire staff, they're all tuned in. They look around the room and say, all right, these are the guys we have here. Let's go to work with this group and play for the guy to your right and play for the guy to your left. And that's what they're doing. The record and the accolades aren't there for them, but they're still going to continue with this battle. Julian to the air. Deep shot, far sideline. That ball is incomplete. The main target was Boema Stone. So Stone, another one of those young men that's not on the roster, but he's got some skill and he's got some leaping ability.
I know they're rolling him out of bounds. Did he catch that? Did he come up with that football?
I was trying to pick it up through the glasses, and I couldn't clarify whether he caught it or not.
Yeah.
I would say, if I had to guess, I'd say it was an incomplete pass.
We're going to get a penalty, too.
I think we got a little holding charge against the champions.
For Coach Lopez, he coached at New Mexico Highlands. He coached their defensive line in the early 90s.
To the
And then he was promoted to the O-line in 1994. And then Coach Lopez made his way to Arizona, and he got with a guy by the name of Pat Farrell. And all they did at St. Mary's High School was win state championships. In fact, in 1995, Coach Lopez was a part of that Pat Farrell team for St. Mary's that went 14-0. Arizona State champions. That was quite an accomplishment back then. Julian to the air. His pass is complete. A bubble screen to Lamar Stevens, and he gets chopped down immediately, making a big-time hit. It's Curtis Johnson, the 4th. So for CJ, the 4th, he's making his first varsity start tonight. He's playing that stud linebacker position. You talk about a little read and react, Cody. He saw something, and then he went after it and got it.
Oh, big time. But Desert Ridge just didn't have the numbers. They're in a 2-receiver set onto the field side. They throw a quick screen to their slot receiver, and the flat defender sitting right there, Curtis Johnson, is just sitting there, sitting duck. His first reaction is go forward, and he pummels them with a perfect wrap and drive right there from the junior defensive back.
Sione lines up to the outside. Shotgun snap back to Julian under pressure from the outside. He's going to top it off on a crossing route, and that's an outstanding defensive play. You had 20 against 20. It was CJ, the 4th, once again, and he was running with the defensive player the entire way, and he made an outstanding tackle right there.
Curtis Johnson, back-to-back plays. Heck, the PA announcer's stealing my thunder, man, because he's pretty much doing the color job up there. And I don't know if you're supposed to talk during a play. I think that's a huge no-no. I think he's talking throughout the entire thing. But back to Curtis Johnson, man. I love the way he's rapping and driving his feet. They're picture-esque tackles right there from the junior.
Those are his first 2 tackles as a member of this football program. And once again, Julian is under duress, and he gets thrown down to the turf. He was spiked rudely. Nice work there by Bryce Moore. Moore, starting defensive tackle, 5'8", 250. You talk about low center of gravity for Bryce Moore. He's just got that core, and he's one of what you call an immovable object that was moving right there.
It's core in the bend under a lot of the offensive linemen. Comes into this game with 10 tackles for loss, and he'll add another one and a sack on a big third down there for another junior starter for this team.
Make it 11. Low snap. Punt is away. And over here for Chavez, it's MJ Woodbury, and he's going to have nothing to do with it. So this time, the Jaguars punt the football away in the traditional style. It was Albie Thompson, and that ball is going to be marked down at the 22-yard line. So Desert Ridge, if nothing else, Cody, they flip the field, and they'll bring their defense back out here to face the Chavez offense one more time.
And their defense has held strong. A couple sacks already. For this Jags defensive group, they kind of sputtered. I mean, I think it's a product of their offense just not getting anything going. I think offensively they want to move super fast, but they've had so many 3-and-outs in this game that just kills your defense, right? You're constantly on the field against some of these teams that have some serious offensive firepower. You broadcast most of these teams. The Mountain View team that they played last week, that is a really good Toro team, and they can put up points quickly. You know,
I believe they played without their
Beckham Barney did not
best player. No, Beckham Barney. You're right.
He did not play in that game.
And they still did some great things with Talon Arnett and company.
He's a stud, man. Talon Arnett's a stud.
Mountain View's good with a quarterback. 6-0 our score here. Inside 5 to play till the intermission. Desert Ridge is playing ball tonight here on the road. They had a return for a touchdown called back. This is Alvarado the outside, and he's been running hard. And one thing that we've seen Alvarado do is start in and then take it out, and he's been taking it out with success.
So we missed this. They had roughing the punter. It was a very quiet call, and I think the PA was announcing that 100th sponsor, or the sponsor the 100th time, whatever he was doing. But hey, extends the drive here, and Desert Ridge trying to put some points on the board here late in the first half.
They have the ball on the 41-yard line of Cesar Chavez, working left to right. Ridge wearing their road black and burgundy pants with their white jerseys. This is Alvarado again, straight ahead, and he's going to have a first down carry.
Jaguars with enough to
he needed 2, and he got 5. So Alvarado with the carry, and one thing we've seen with this Desert Ridge offense, they've been putting the ball in the hands of Alvarado, and he's been making some plays.
And I'm liking what their offensive line is doing. They're working doubles and getting to the second level. Emery Wright, a junior, and Leonidas Tuatu, the sophomore, two-way star. They're both doing a really good job of powering their way to the second level to sink those inside backers.
We have all kinds of offensive linemen with no names to identify. Alvarado right side, and they're going to stack him up. But he's going to have that forward lane, if you will. He's still going to pick up 2. That's a tough earned 2. But Alvarado continues to get his number called at number 7, and he's taking advantage of his playing time here, and he's having success running the football.
And I highlighted this prior to this possession. I said, hey, Desert Ridge, they've tried to go so fast this season, so no huddle. It's detrimental to their defense. What are they doing now? They are huddling up, owning the time of possession, keeping the ball away from Mason Penrod and the 2 superstar receivers for Chavez, Nevin Reed and Peyton Stokes, that we haven't even mentioned maybe once or twice today, keeping the ball out of their hands. This is great game plan.
It really is a great game plan. I don't even know that we've called our names just yet. But that's the 3rd high snap here. We saw the first quarterback, the starter, Andre Gonzalez. He had a couple of challenging snaps to work with. He had the first 2 drives. And, Cody, we've seen this throughout the state of Arizona this year. The 2-quarterback system is not completely unorthodox in 2024.
Oh, especially when you have transfers in, right? And so it's like Andre Gonzalez was the guy. And this Julius kid, what Coach Lopez is saying, every single week he came to work as our scout team quarterback, earned these reps here into week 6.
2nd and 13.
2nd down, 13. Julian takes the snap. He rolls to the far side. Has plenty of time. Still looking, and he's just going to be forced out of bounds. Credit the force out. That was Daniel Saucedo Jr., the right tackle, also playing defense. 5'10", 245, a senior. But for Julian, showing a little maturation right there, there was nothing doing. He didn't take a sack, and he just took what the defense allowed, which was nothing.
Yeah, and it was extending the play as long as possible, giving his receivers time to get open. So it kind of brings Andre Gonzalez the same way, kind of a dual-threat kid, but just a little bit different style with that southpaw. Obviously, they want to roll left with him in a lot of these situations. But first game starting, or excuse me, first game playing, calm, cool, and collective here for the junior gunslinger.
From the far hash of the 36-yard line, a full wide receiver package here for Blake Julian. Alvarado's to his left, claps his hand, snaps back, under pressure again. He's hit, and he's going to be sacked. Boy, there were 4 purple shirts in the area, and there were 3 that were closest to the quarterback, and it was Amari Bell who got there first. And how about the attributes for Amari Bell? 6'3", 245. He's a junior, Cody.
And he won at least the last 6 pass reps. Just the right tackle was not fast enough on his kick step where Bell was turning the corner. Julius had just got rid of the ball those other 5 times. That time, Bell gets to him. Great pass set. And pummels him for a sack there on 3rd down.
For Bell, his 4th sack of the season. That's the 2nd sack of this game for the Champions. They now have 20 sacks on the year. Mekhi Hodge also had an assist there. This is Blake Julian rolling to the near side, being pressured from the backside. He's just going to throw it down the field, and that ball is caught. And did the receiver get his feet in bounds? They're saying he did, and now, whoa.
Short.
Why the head linesman? Okay, so the wide receiver who caught the football, I'd love to share with you who it was, but it was number 20. He made the reception, but he was 2 yards shy to move the sticks. So Julian rolling to the near side gave his wide receiver a chance, and, well, they just came up short.
Yeah, he did. Roll them to the field side. Unorthodox for a lefty quarterback to having to roll right like that, going against his body. But great catch by another no-name. We have the number, no name, number 20 for Desert Ridge. But about 1.2 yards short, and so Chavez defense comes up, back-to-back 3rd down sacks for that defense, and getting the ball back.
Marcus Newman picks up his 14th tackle of the year, picks up his 7th solo. Here's a handoff, straight ahead give. It's Ferris Jenkins. And Ferris Jenkins, his first 4 games over 70 yards in each of those.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 3.
And Jenkins was held to 41, as we mentioned, in that first quarter. In fact, for Chavez on the road against Mountain Point last week, they only rushed for 100 yards on the game. Here's Jenkins getting the call, and he's going to have a 1st down carry. He got 6 in the first. It's 5 on the second. 2 totes for 11 yards from Ferris Jenkins, and they're starting to define a little run game here for Cesar Chavez.
Yeah, they got 2 timeouts left as well. Excuse me, they got all 3 timeouts left here. They're going to get one here for Desert Ridge here. That was a big stop by Chavez's defense, Kevin. Reason being, Desert Ridge gets ball to start the second half. That could have been anywhere from a 6 to 14-point swing if Desert Ridge was able to put points on the board. That 3rd down stack for Amari Bell ends the drive pretty much. And Chavez defense holding strong, holding a pitch out here in the first half.
So with 1:25 to go, we have no phone, and we have nothing.
No Wi-Fi. No Wi-Fi either. Happy times.
All right. But the great thing is I've got my hotspot for tomorrow night's game with no hotspot here. That's a tough one. 6-0 is our score. This has been a seesaw game here, but I've been impressed with both defenses tonight, Cody.
Oh, big time. They fly to the football. They're securing tackles. Desert Ridge owned the time of possession. We haven't called Chavez on offense in quite some time.
Ridge going to bring pressure with 4. Penrod to the air. Deep ball down the center of the field. That ball's overthrown. He wanted the talented wide receiver, all-region second-teamer Nevin Reed, 6 foot 170. The first time we've called this name tonight other than on special teams. But Penrod doesn't have the time that he thought he might when they scouted this defensive unit for Desert Ridge. They're putting pressure on the quarterback.
And their secondary can fly. Sammy Johns, their defense coordinator, is also the head track coach for Desert Ridge. And he put together a 4x100 team and a 4x400 relay team that's full of football players. These guys fly in the back half. Lamar Stevens staying over the top, well over the top, about 5 yards, and beating the receiver to the route.
Xander Fuentes trying to find his spot on that defensive line. It's a direct snap to Penrod. Penrod's going to see some daylight up the middle, and he breaks a tackle, and he's going to get the 1st down. Boy, he broke a tackle from Jackson Brown, the 6'2", nearly 200-pound senior. And that was a linebacker meeting the quarterback, and the quarterback won that battle.
Well, also, the quarterback is also 6'2", 200 pounds. Mason Penrod, he is a big sophomore, also utilizing that dual-threat quarterback power ability.
Gain of 14 under run blitz. There's nothing to do at all. Ferris Jenkins just gets corralled in that backfield and then slammed to the turf. Desert Ridge with a well-timed run blitz on Ferris Jenkins, and there's nothing doing at all. 62 seconds to go. With this pause of the action, we'd like to thank Trey Clarkson State Farm Insurance for all of your insurance needs. Contact Trey Clarkson State Farm Insurance.
Banana pudding. Papa's best. Straight out of Houston.
How about my guy, Cody? Cody, take it away right
Okay,
there.
for all your insurance needs, contact Trey Clarkson State Farm for home, auto, motorcycle, boat, RV, and life. Call 623-432-1700. That's Trey Clarkson State Farm. He's our guy. Always been our guy. I think 2-3 years in a row.
This
Trey
is our
Clarkson?
third year.
Trey Clarkson.
This is our lead sponsor.
Big supporter. Appreciate you, Trey.
TC, always giving love and supporting our community. The great State 48, Cody.
This is just overlooking this. So we've called some great games. The backdrop here is
spectacular
phenomenal.
venue.
It really is. Great job. And you know, Coach Hovig is filling these stands. These stands are awesome, and they're Levine community. Love to see that.
You got to appreciate it. And a nice contingency here from Desert Ridge, who made the trek from the East Valley, right around the 10. Penrod out of the gun, and Penrod's flushed out. Nothing doing for Mason, and he's just going to pick up some positive yardage by using that very fleet-of-foot speed of his.
And Jackson Brown, this is how you know it's a well-coached team right here. Jackson Brown kind of had that, do I hit him? Do I not hit him? But you hit a quarterback even if he's close to out of bounds. How many times do we see the 15-yard flag go on? He holds up, no 15. Smart football play by a senior safety. And that's tough, right? As a senior safety mentality, you have – violence in your brain.
Yeah.
That's a really smart. Absolutely, it's a really smart football play.
Any quarterback that's kind of tipped on the sidelines, you feel like that's a free play, but you got to be smart. Shotgun snap to Penrod. He's being pressured, and he's going to get sacked again. Andrew Hines, his second sack of this football game, and Andrew Hines has been very impressive. Speed off the edge. He gets to Penrod. That's another sack.
Andrew Hines have a first half coming in to the field side. All hustle and all effort right there, Kevin. And he tracks down Mason Penrod for a second sack in the first half.
And, I think that people are going to listen to this broadcast and they say, wow, these guys are really pimping these coaches. But this is well-coached football that we're seeing right now. It's an 0-5 team, and you got a defensive back like that getting after the quarterback, playing with passion, playing with fire in his belly, and making plays like that here in a close ball game, in a one-possession game. This is region football, Cody.
It really is, and the effort. It's Desert Ridge is 0-5, and the effort they're giving is like they're 5-0. That's how you know a team is well coached. Absolutely. Oh, wow. We're look at this. We are already. Wow. Okay.
Dude, what's a flip, man? Oh my. Go down to our girl right here. Oh.
What's inside you? Is it strength? Is it speed? Is it knowledge of the game? Unlocking the greatness inside you means digging deeper, running faster, and going further than you can on your own. Banner Sports Medicine High Performance Center trains the athlete in all of us with technology, techniques, and hands-on experience customized to you. See what you're capable of by unlocking the greatness inside of you.
A little to the left, please.
What's inside you is its strength.
This glorious Whataburger is yours. A few minutes ago, it didn't even exist. Why? Because every Whataburger is 100% fresh beef and made to order. That means we didn't start cooking it until this exact moment, right here, when you ordered it into existence. Whataburger, just like you like it.
A little to the left, please. Thank you. A little more.
Oh, I'm okay. Get your money working. And for a limited time, get 0% interest for 6 months when you open a new Visa credit card at America First.
This glorious Whataburger is yours. A few minutes ago, it didn't even exist. Why? Because every Whataburger is 100% fresh beef and made to order. That means we didn't start cooking it until this exact moment, right here, when you ordered it into existence. Whataburger, just like you like it.
At first, it was just a team. Now I can't imagine my life without them.
That coach changed our son, on the field and off.
A little to the left, please. Thank you. A little more.
Oh, I'm okay. Get your money working. And for a limited time, get 0% interest for 6 months when you open a new Visa credit card at America First.
Being a State Farm good neighbor means going the extra mile for my customers. Our office treats our customers like family. You know, this has been a family business for me in a sense for a long time. We're going to be there for you in good times and bad times. That might mean going to meet a customer somewhere to help them. That means being involved in our local community. One thing that I love about being a good neighbor in my community is giving back to local high schools and being involved in athletics. It's a family atmosphere here. You know, this is more than a 1-800 number, and that's what I love about State Farm. I am Trey Clarkson, your local State Farm agent in Phoenix, Arizona.
Hurt in a wreck? The insurance company is going to offer you a little check. We turn low offers into big checks. Hurt in a wreck? You need a real check? Make one call, that's all.
Murder and rope is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
In a wreck and thinking about dealing with the insurance company yourself? Stop!
People represented by an attorney get more than 3 times the money than those who don't have an attorney.
Murder and rope is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Being a State Farm good neighbor means going the extra mile for my customers. Our office treats our customers like family. You know, this has been a family business for me in a sense for a long time. We're going to be there for you in good times and bad times. That might mean going to meet a customer somewhere to help them. That means being involved in our local community. One thing that I love about being a good neighbor in my
Car wreck? Check. Motorcycle wreck? Check. Truck wreck? Check. Bicycle wreck? Check. UFO wreck? What? In a wreck? You need a check. Call Lerner and Rowe today.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
If this is your wreck, you need a check.
If this is your wreck, you definitely need a check.
Hurt in a wreck? Need a check?
We're Lerner and Rowe. Make one call, that's all.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Being a State Farm good neighbor means going the extra mile for my customers. Our office treats our customers like family. This has been a family business for me in a sense for a long time. We're going to be there for you in good times and bad times. That might mean going to meet a customer somewhere to help them. That means being involved in our local community. One thing that I love about being a good neighbor in my...
Are you okay? You seem upset. Turns out you were right. Our car was breaking down and we did need a new one with a loan from America First Credit Union. Me saying there was no hurry and to wait was wrong. Hey, on the bright side, we got to meet Huey.
Get your money working with our low-rate auto loans, now with no payments for 90 days.
Being a State Farm good neighbor means going the extra mile for my customers. Our office treats our customers like family. This has been a family business for me in a sense for a long time. We're going to be there for you in good times and bad times. That might mean going to meet a customer somewhere to help them. That means being involved in our local community. One thing that I love about being a good neighbor and educating our customers is so important to us because we want them to have all the knowledge on what it's going to take to protect them and their family. One of the things that our office is passionate about is life insurance. Our goal is to protect families and protect their future and protect what they've worked so hard to achieve. It's our mission to not shy away from talking about health insurance and disability insurance and let them make informed decisions on what is best for them and their family. I am Trey Clarkson, your local State Farm agent in Phoenix, Arizona.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a champ, forget about X's and O's. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Educating our customers is so important to us because we want them to have all the knowledge on what it's going to take to protect them and their family. One of the things that our office is passionate about is life insurance. Our goal is to protect families and protect their future and protect what they've worked so hard to achieve. It's our mission to not shy away from talking about health insurance and disability.
What's inside you? Is it strength? Is it speed? Is it knowledge of the game? Unlocking the greatness inside you means digging deeper, running faster, and going further than you can on your own. Banner Sports Medicine High Performance Center trains the athlete in all of us with technology, techniques, and hands-on experience customized to you. See what you're capable of by unlocking the greatness inside of you.
Educating our customers is so important to us because we want them to have all the knowledge on what it's going to take to protect them and their family. One of the things that our office is passionate about is life insurance. Our goal is to protect families and protect their future and protect what they've worked so hard to achieve. It's our mission to not shy away from talking about health insurance and disability insurance and let them make informed decisions on what is best for them and their family. I am Trey Clarkson, your local State Farm agent in Phoenix, Arizona.
This glorious Whataburger is yours. A few minutes ago, it didn't even exist. Why? Because every Whataburger is 100% fresh beef and made to order. That means we didn't start cooking it until this exact moment, right here, when you ordered it into existence. Whataburger, just like you like it.
So, what do we think about the new Tacoma? Lumberjack?
It's a keeper.
Interesting. Ranch hand?
I reckon I'd trade my horse for one.
Nice. Bigfoot? It's true. A lot of leg room. Great point. Thanks, you guys.
Pat?
Let's do it.
The all-new Tacoma. It passes the rugged test. Toyota. Let's go places.
Which is interesting.
Car wreck, check. Motorcycle wreck, check. Truck wreck, check. Bicycle wreck, check. UFO wreck, what? In a wreck, you need a check. Call Lerner and Rowe today.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
If this is your wreck, you need a check.
If this is your wreck, you definitely need a check.
Hurt in a wreck, need a check?
We're Lerner and Rowe. Make one call, that's all.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a champ, forget about X's and O's. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce. And jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Also, they got chili dogs down there.
We welcome you back to Laveen, Arizona. We are at the home of Cesar Chavez High School. It's the champions of the Desert Ridge Jaguars. And Cody, we were treated to a slobber knocker type first half, 6A Fiesta Region football. And in game number one here on week 6, we saw some really good football.
Great defense. I mean, but a product of two very good coaches and kids with heart. Like I said, Desert Ridge is 0-5 coming into this football game, and they're playing like they were 5-0. Some fire from the Jags.
So the second half kick is underway. This is Charlton Apperty. And on the return, we saw Desert Ridge and that young man right there that had the football, Royce McLean, take one to the end zone, only to have it called back due to a holding penalty. And that was really the story of the game. It was that call, it was that play that sent us to bewilderment, really. And that was the play that did not allow Desert Ridge to score in that first half. And you credit the Champions for playing great defense, as Cody alluded to. But that was just a tough break.
That was a brutal back-to-back because you had the scoop and score touchdown, the only points on the board from tonight. And then the ensuing kickoff, like you mentioned, partner, he takes it to the house and gets called back from a holding penalty, which I would love to see a replay of still.
That's a high snap. This is the Higley transfer, and this is back to Blake Julian. And I got to give credit where credit's due for Ariana Breitkreitz, our esteemed sideline reporter, making her debut tonight. We'll continue to work that out, but we're asking to the guy to my right who knows everything about high school football, where's Blake Julian from? And it was Ariana.
Had no idea.
The knowledge right there. That's when you know you've recognized the talent, Cody.
He did very well. And she had a good first hit in the first half.
Alvarado gets the carry here, and he gets stonewalled at the point of contact. Nothing doing at all. And great pursuit to the football. A couple guys there, Daniel Saucedo Jr. as well as Amari Bell. How about Amari Bell, a junior, 6'3", 245. You just can't teach that size, and then the athleticism to boot.
And he's a junior. I mean, literally, if you look at throughout their roster, is so many juniors, so many sophomores making impacts at the 6A level for Coach Hovick and this Chavez team.
This is a 3rd down and 3 from the 46-yard line. Working left to right, Blake Julian, the southpaw quarterback from the pocket. Deep ball, far sideline, and that ball's incomplete. Julian was throwing into double coverage. He wanted Boema Sione, and just great coverage right there. He was going to have to force that ball in between two defenders.
Yeah, double team there, and also Woodbury was over the top as well. So good job just kind of bracketing with the Chavez defense. That deep outside corner going to his deep third coverage. Julius, I like it though. You know, you're taking the shot, about a 3rd and about a 4 situation, taking the shot there. You would have known if it was 4 down territory, maybe you run that football there on 3rd and 4 to set you up for a 4th and short. But nonetheless, good stop from the Chavez defense on the opening possession of the second half.
Tyvis Spencer was over there with MJ Woodbury, the all-region defensive back. And there's a fake punt. This is Alvarado in the middle of the football field. Alvarado gets the 49. He needed the Jaguars. Well, let's see where they put the football. He needed the 49 to move the sticks. So Coach Lopez rolls the dice on their side of the football field, trailing 6-0. And it looks like the champion defense. We will wait for the official ruling of our white hat official.
They got to measure this, Kevin.
And they probably should.
Yeah, this is really close.
And Pat Taranis has now called for the chain gang to come out onto the field. And last time we saw this, we were in suspense. Last week from Highland High School was high drama. And that young man, Cruz Cullimore, put on a show. How about a career-high 35 totes, 197 yards. 190, actually, for Coach Brock Farrell's team. An impressive win at home against Rick Garrett's Chandler Wolves.
Yeah, and if you make a Highland football tree of the Cullimore family, the Crandall family, who, I lied to you, I was told Crandall was going to be out. Grady Crandall, the sophomore.
Grady
or
played.
Excuse me, the junior, and he played, and he was an impact player.
He was an impact
Crandall's, Allens, and Cullimore's, and you have yourself an all-state Arizona high school football team.
Joseph Allen, a defensive standout. And what the heck? Let's go out on the field and get us a great call.
What
a great shot.
It's an incredible shot. You said that it was the same shot last week as well, and here we are on the Thursday night broadcast. What a shot by our downfield crew.
That young man is also an aspiring cinematographer, and he continues to work his way up. When Joey Mascaro is not here, and there's other talented people, I want to make that clear. We've got the Baker boys out there. These guys, they're superstars in their own right. Caleb and Jeremy Baker, part of this crew. All right, there's a handoff to Ferris Jenkins. And Ferris Jenkins gets that linebacker level, and then he finally gets thrown to the turf. Runs to the 3 shirts. Leading the way was Royce McLean. So McLean's playing football on both sides of the ball, returning kicks for touchdowns, and then playing free safety.
And that's what Desert Ridge has done really well tonight. They have tackled efficiently. They are gang tackling the ball carriers and doing a great job of running all 11 to the football.
That was a gain of 3 for Ferris Jenkins. Penrod gets the snap. He's going to work left, right behind that line, and then trucking some people along the way. Mason Penrod with a big-time run and making the stop. That was Marty Brewer. And when you run over Marty Brewer, you've done something. And he's an all-region standout. The corner that stands at 6'1", 185. How about that play by Mason Penrod?
Yeah, 200 pounds coming at you. 120 yards on the ground and 3 tutties for the dual-threat sophomore quarterback, and finishing with the pummel on there. Nice job by Mason Penrod.
That was an outstanding run. And as Cody pointed out, the finish is what was exciting. Lined up to the right is Nevin Reed, and they go back to the ground game. And you're asking yourself at home, where are these guys that you highlighted on the outset of the broadcast? Nevin Reed and Peyton Stokes. Well, they're playing ball. They're on the field here, and it's just a matter of time. And when you look at number 5, Peyton Stokes, all-region second-teamer.
Champion's able to pick up
Again, the size, 6'4", 190. We just talked about it, but he's a specimen. At the top of your screen, that's Nevin Reed. And they run it left and running the football on the near boundary. First carry tonight out of the backfield for Chavez. That's MJ Woodbury. So we've seen Woodbury line up at cornerback. He's their shutdown corner. He's an all-region second-teamer in the return department, and then now he's toting the rock as the running back too.
I like the Chavez offensive game plan. I'll get into it after this play.
Woodbury again, little stutter step, tries to get outside, does, and then finally he's nudged out of bounds. Flying to the football. That was 46, I believe. No, let's go with 48 because we see that.
MJ Woodbury
Barkin Tay with a force out.
The Wood.
That's a gain of 8. Checking in the backfield here is Miles Johnson. And this is a straight ahead give. I believe it's MJ, the ball carrier, running right behind that big offensive line. In fact, he was running behind the big fellow, number 59. That is Nato Rivera.
They're going tight splits and just staying on this short hash here, Kevin.
Quick tempo, no huddle. High snap for Penrod to the outside to the 5. And he's going to be cut down at the, we'll call it the 2.
Keeper taking us all the way to the 1-yard line.
Nice work there, combining on the stop for Desert Ridge. That was Jackson Brown and the before mentioned Barkson Tay. And Penrod's denied at the 2. Well, we'll call it the 1. Second and goal from the 1. We are in quarter number 3 in a 6-0 ball game. Penrod straight ahead. It's Miles Johnson fighting his way to the goal line, and he's denied. So nice job in the middle, Cody, by this front 4 for Desert Ridge. And it looked like Lucas Martinez got lower than the offensive line did.
Yeah, Martinez does a great job of getting in the backfield and tightening up here in this front 7 for the Jags defense. Nice play.
Miles Johnson, a play fake. Penrod floats one to the end zone, and that ball is incomplete. Wide open in the end zone was Mekhi Hodge, the tight end, 6'2", 25. And that was just a misfire by Penrod, or Hodge wasn't expecting the football in that close proximity. That was a missile coming at him.
Just a hard route off that play action, kind of play action, that sweep, and Hodge wide open. Penrod just threw it about 100,000 miles per hour right there, doing his best baseball impression, kind of a side angle as well. I think he tried to get it around the Desert Ridge defender who was in his face, kind of changed his target angle, but he threw that with some serious speed.
So Penrod works out of the gun. Penrod wants to throw, being flushed out. Throws towards the end zone off his back foot, and that ball's incomplete. Streaking across the back of the end zone. They go right back to Mekhi Hodge, and I do it once a game. Mekhi Hodge, to me, for just a minute, looks like Kyle Pitts out there.
He does, but how about the Desert Ridge defense? What a stand inside about the 2-yard line there, back-to-back plays, and the Jags hold strong there. You just had crosses going to the end zone. Jags players staying consistent, not trailing those guys, just giving up on them, and Sammy Johns is fired up on the Jaguars sideline.
What name do I have pointed right there underneath my point finger?
Sammy Johns.
Defensive coordinator.
DC.
Sammy Johns. Great game plan. The scheme is absolutely outstanding. And then the execution by his team right there on 4th down was just fantastic. So a 4th down stop for a team that trailed 6-0, who had a kickoff return for a touchdown negated by a penalty. Otherwise, we'd have a whole new ball game here.
Let's see what kind of havoc Coach Hill.
8:09 to go in quarter number 3. Boy, the Longines scoreboard is not working here in Levine. And this is the quarterback, Julian. And Julian is going to fight his way to get out of the end zone. As he's running the football on the near hash mark, he gets out to the 1.
Now the defense is looking for that safety.
For Chavez, Daniel Saucedo Jr. over there at the defensive line. And they're going to give a favorable spot to Julian. They're going to put that ball on the 2-yard line.
Yeah, he got hit in the end zone and was able to spin off. I thought maybe got to the 1-yard line there, but you're looking about the 2.5 there.
Would you call that a favorable spot?
I would call that a favorable spot. What I was going to say was that's back-to-back games where we're deep in the end zone calling some kind of slow quarterback draw plays. We saw it last week. It resulted in a safety about 6 yards deep into the end zone.
From their own 2, out of his own end zone, direct snap. It's Alvarado. And Alvarado had to carry that football on his hip for a minute and then eventually falls towards the 8-yard line. So you talk about some get-off, firing off the ball, offensive line speaking. Desert Ridge is playing some football here tonight.
Well, that's just a great job by Alvarado making something out of nothing, because you're exactly right. It almost looked like a direct snap to him, and he was able to cut up in the A-gap, move his feet, and pick up about 5 yards on that play.
I would agree. It was a direct snap to him. So breaking the huddle and lining up to the right is Boima Sione. He's their playmaker. Trips to the left side for the left-handed quarterback, Blake Julian. The one-time Higley Knight played his lower-level ball for Eddie Zuby and company. To the air. That ball is intercepted. It's picked off. I believe it was intercepted by Chavez. That's Curtis Johnson, the 4th, making his first start. And he has a gift wrap interception. That was just the room service delivery of the football.
I was just tough because the slot receiver, Lamar Stevens, he slips and falls on the turf. He ran that hitch. That is a timing route, especially on 3rd down, bringing the pressure. Runs that hitch right to the sticks. So I understand what the quarterback, Blake Julius, was trying to do. Timing route, pitch and catch. Unfortunately, receiver falls down, and sitting right there is a name we've called multiple times tonight, Curtis Johnson, for his coverage ability, his tacking ability, and now comes up on the stat sheet with a big interception in Desert Ridge territory.
Possession play here. This is 3rd down for Ferris Jenkins. He gets the sweep to the right, and he'll try to cut back towards the numbers, and there's very little room to work with. Desert Ridge continues to just suffocate this running game of Cesar Chavez.
Now the problem is Chavez has really dominated the field possession. So Desert Ridge is on the time of possession, but Chavez has started 3 or 4 drives now in Desert Ridge territory, this time starting already in the red zone.
Chandler Hovick in his first year. This is Mason Penrod. And Penrod's going to carry the football, running along the far hash marks inside the 5-yard line. So they took that snap inside the green zone, and with 5:44 to go in quarter number 3, once again threatening here are the champions. But this Desert Ridge defense has been bend but don't break.
They really have, but you can only ask so much of that, right? You have 4 possessions already where that offense is starting in your territory. Eventually, points are going to be put on the board with Chavez here threatening once again inside the 5.
Twin stack to the right. This is Ferris Jenkins. Jenkins to the 2. Jenkins to the 2, and that's it. He's going to be stymied right there. So again, how low can you go if you're this front 4 for Desert Ridge? Doing a nice job of the get off, and for Ridge making a play. That was Taven Bean. So Bean listed at 6'4", 235. 4th and goal. It's Jenkins.
Touchdown!
Check that. It's Mason Penrod on the quarterback keep. Great job of deceiving by the running back, continuing to sell out the fake was Ferris Jenkins. Meanwhile, Mason Penrod's in the back of the end zone celebrating 6 points.
That's a great play call, too, because last series, when they were 3rd and short and 4th and short, what they do, they elected a pass, going 0 for 2. Hey, learn from your mistakes. You get in 3rd and short, run the football. Okay, now you're 4th and inches from the 2-yard line. Where do you go, Kevin? You go north to south with your 6'2", 200-pound sophomore quarterback who punches it in running through would-be tacklers for 6.
Rushing touchdown number 4 for Mason Penrod. That's the 12th rushing touchdown of the year for Cesar Chavez. Chandler Hovick's team tries to go for 2. The 2-point try is denied. And with 4:49 remaining in quarter number 3, our new score, Cesar Chavez 12, Desert Ridge 0. And really, when you think about what Chandler Hovick has done, he left Central, he came over for a new opportunity here in Laveen, and his coaching staff, everybody that's involved in this program has a positive vibe about what they're doing in this community. And you mentioned it earlier. Look at the turnout here on a Thursday night. A very, very good crowd, a well-attended game, and there's a lot of passion here in the building tonight.
One of his first goals was to keep Laveen in Laveen, because how many times do kids here go to Mountain Point? How many times do they go to Desert Edge? They go everywhere but Chavez. That's his big goal. I love the community support. Here's the coaching, what I was going to say last series too. They have all these receivers. They got 2 receivers that are close to 1,000 yards receiving, Kevin. And what do they do in this football game? They're staying balanced, and they're running the rock. And I love that. That shows growth and some awesome coaching down there by Chandler Hovick and his coaching staff.
Yeah, there's no question about that. All right. This one is kicked. This is Apperty, Charlton Apperty. And for Apperty, he came directly to me tonight and said, hey, the coach wanted me to let you know my name and number. I'm kicking tonight. We're like, all right, Charlton. So you know when you're going straight to the source, you know that they're shorthanded this week as far as the updating the media guy.
I love that. I absolutely love that. How about this? So we had a kick out of bounds, and Desert Ridge is electing to give it back. Here's a score update for you. Red Mountain just took the lead with 8:10 left in the 3rd quarter. The Mountain Lions are up over Highland 16-11 in a matchup of 2 5-0 East Valley region teams who have just built such a great rivalry over the last 5 or 6 years. 16-11 Red Mountain's up.
And let's call it what it is. Red Mountain and Kylanders, their nemesis has been Highland the last couple of years. Every team has a nemesis for whatever reason. In fact, for Brophy's, their nemesis is Red Mountain, right?
Yep.
Jason Jewell has documented that more times than not. And I'll get to see Brophy tomorrow night against Basha. Coach McDonald and that, oh my gosh, what a marquee group that Brophy has between Devin Fitzgerald and Mr. McNabb and company and the Vanden Bosches. On the return, here comes speed. This is Royce McLean, and Royce McLean's going to take the football out towards the 50-yard line. And trailing 12-0, Roy Lopez's offense back on the field, and they're going to have great field position. They're going to begin this drive at the 49-yard line.
Royce McLean's returns have been Desert Ridge's best offense. He had the one kickoff they took to the house that called back for holding, and that one he bust loose for about 25 yards running through some would-be tacklers. Nice job by Royce McLean.
One other quick note about Basha football. You know, one of the biggest stories had to be for Coach McDonald. How are they going to replace Demond Williams Jr.? Well, they've done it with Broderick Veers.
Yeah, Brody Veers is a stud.
Excuse me, Brody. There it is. Brody Veers. All right, this is a run play here for Ridge, and there's nothing, absolutely nothing at all. One of the guys there just looking over people, that's Andrew Hines. He had some help, but he's been tremendous in run support tonight, Cody Cameron.
Yeah, and Chavez has done a great job of staying over the top. Now they're starting to bring that 8th guy into the box and really halt Desert Ridge's run game, which Alvarado has had success. They had that drive on the scoop and score where Alvarado is able to bust loose on a couple 6 to 7 yard gains. Chavez putting that 8th guy in the box, sometimes kind of just dropping that safety and adding an additional run support.
Andre Gonzalez is checked in at quarterback. They go back to the senior here. He'll work out of the pistol, hands it off to his second tailback, and running through with the football with a big hole was Jarrell Price. And unfortunately for Jarrell Price, the turf monster got him about the 47-yard line.
Yeah, great collapse too on that right side of that offensive lineman, and like you were saying, a big gap past that right tackle, right in the hip of that right tackle. He tries to cut up and just slips. Feet go right under him.
Emery Wright paving the way on that right side, the right tackle, 6 foot 265. Inside 4 to play in a 12-0 ball game for Cesar Chavez.
Tried to run, paid the price. From the 46-yard line.
The ball is on the 46-yard line. Snap is back to the second quarterback. This is Gonzalez. Gonzalez over the middle, and boy, I tell you what, flying open was Royce McLean, and that one was just a misfire.
Yeah, they had to split the two safeties there. Chavez just going to the two deep and go post from the inside slot. Gonzalez just trying to step up, face under pressure, wasn't able to get enough just throw power on that pass.
Matt Nelson, the offensive coordinator for Desert Ridge.
Fans go wild.
And for Desert Ridge, they have had a lot of history and a lot of success over the years. Jeremy Halfcock, the one-time coach over there, took over for Vincent Smith, and Jeremy was there for many, many years until Roy Lopez took over. So Coach Lopez, just coach number 3 at Desert Ridge. Tremendous program. Back to throw is Gonzalez, looking left. He's going to drop it off over the middle of the field. Slipping a tackle was Sione, and then here comes a whole bunch of purple shirts to spill over Sione.
Not about the Jaguars converting.
So good defensive effort there on 4th down. It'll be a change of possession. Do you like the call?
I like the call for going on 4th. You're trying to spark an offense. I don't necessarily like either the route tree, right? Because you have to run, even if you're running a cross pattern, you have to run that to the sticks. And I don't necessarily like the quarterback decision. Why? Because you know you're throwing into a receiver short of the sticks there. It's all situational game.
Right.
And Desert Ridge's offense needs something going here. And doing that, I love to go for it on 4th down, to spark something. Execution gets a big F, Kevin.
These two teams are playing in back-to-back years. In fact, this is the 4th consecutive year that this series has played out. In fact, for Desert Ridge, they're undefeated against the champions in their 4 meetings. They're 4-0. So Coach Hovick trying to get this club off the deck in his first year coaching the champions. This is a sweep left and then turning the corner and finding some running room. This is the tailback. It looks like Chavez has gone to Miles Johnson exclusively here in the second half, Cody.
And they got some just ton of talent. I mean, this is a running back who's coming in RB2, 6'1", 190 pounds, comes into this game 178 yards on the ground and 3 touchdowns. It's kind of like with Penrod, Ferris Jackson, and Miles Johnson, all of them with 3 touchdowns heading in this football game, so they do distribute quite often, but big backs, really good backs.
You got to like the size, big backs. Here comes a run blitz, and running right through the run blitz was Marcus Newman. And Cody, you might have heard it. There were some pads popping on that hit right there.
Oh, big time. But once again, Miles Johnson spinning off would-be tacklers and keeping his feet rolling. He's a big, like I said, both these guys they're big, talented running backs.
Emery right down there in the middle. All right, let's turn it down to the 3rd member of our broadcast team. Here is Ariana. Ariana, take it away.
Thank you, Kevin. We are here with Coach Hovick's first year with the champions. They're having a lead of 3-2, and it's looking like he's going to be able to keep it successful for tonight. He's having a strong offensive power, and so we'll see what we can do with it. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, Ariana. We appreciate that. 2:02 to go, 12-0 our ball game. Ariana is our new member of our broadcast team here, so thank you to.
We're at the 45-yard line.
It's actually Ariana, if you will. It's Ariana. If you talk to somebody that pronounces their name the other way, then they'll specify. It's Ariana. This is Ariana. Penrod to the air, and he tried to fit that pass to Peyton Stokes. So again, the highlight and the marquee players on this football team are not really involved in the offense tonight. When you talk about Peyton Stokes and Nevin Reed, the game plan hasn't called for them to be involved, I guess.
Yeah, well, Desert Ridge just kind of brought the house as well, too. They usually drop back there. They brought double A-gap blitz, letting the corners drip a little bit. It forces Mason Penrod an arid pass. I don't think Stokes had completely it was just kind of a deeper slant route, but I don't think he had got to his route spot yet, and that was a fire.
Royce McLean's back deep, and this punt by Penrod again will be sent inside the 20-yard line. There to cover it up. He had Peyton Stokes down there, as well as his teammate Marcus Newman. And if you're looking for a defensive game, you found one here tonight. Desert Ridge's defense has been outstanding. Samuel Johns, their defensive coordinator, has been calling a really good game plan tonight, and then the execution by his team has been better.
Yeah, and they're just playing with so much energy. You know, and take away the scoop and score. Their only touchdown that they gave up was after a pick where Chavez was inside the 15 already. So just the effort from both defenses, really. But Desert Ridge, I keep bringing them up because they're the 0-5 team. They're the team that kind of got spanked around, especially last week against the Toros. And they're coming with some fired-up energy here tonight.
Andre Gonzalez gets this second consecutive series, and he works out of the pistol. He'll hand it off to Alvarado, working the left side, and there's nothing doing at all. Again, all those purple shirts just stymie the ball carrier. He tries to work left, and that right side of that defensive line just too stout up front.
And there's actually they're calling a pre-snap procedure there. I didn't hear a whistle at all prior to snap. But we've actually had some pretty good officiating tonight, though. I will say they've done a really good job.
So it's a 5-yard penalty, as Cody so eloquently explained to you. It was a pre-snap procedure penalty. Showing blitz in the middle is Miles Johnson. The senior quarterback, Gonzalez, from his own end zone, sets up a screen. It's Alvarado with some space. Alvarado waiting for a block. Alvarado out in front of everybody. Alvarado out to the 40, and he'll take it just shy of the 40-yard line. Nice play there, and the patience by the offensive line. Nobody caught downfield. That was just tremendous execution by the Ridge offense.
Love the play call, love the execution as you see a couple of those Chavez players flying upfield. Tice Grays, one of their best defensive players, thought, hey, I got a free sack here. No, offensive line gets to the second level. Great play by Michael Alvarado.
How about Caden Bloss, number 52, running down the field. Gonzalez to the air, deep shot. He's got a receiver there, and that ball's broken up. Oh my, what a defensive effort. But Braden Brenner was loose, and he ran into Marcus Newman, and give Marcus Newman a tremendous pass breakup right there. The PBU from Marcus Newman.
Yeah, Chavez in a too-high shell there, so that safety has that whole half, and Marcus Newman comes flying on that fade route and breaks it up right when the ball gets in the receiver's hands. The senior defensive back making a great play.
Right there, a little demonstration of that closing speed that you talk about. That's the second pass defense for Newman this season. Final minute of our third quarter in a 12-0 ball game. Ridge with a lot of fight here on the road. They hand it off to Alvarado, and he's going to be caught in the backfield, and he can go nowhere. Alvarado had no chance to succeed on that particular play. Too many purple shirts in the vicinity, and it looked as though one of the guys there.
Ball's on the 44-yard line.
It has to be Jesus Varela, the defensive end.
You could say all four of them, because literally all four of them shed their block and got into that backfield. Alvarado had nowhere to go in there, so lost a two. Nice job by the Chavez even front.
That is indeed a TFL for Varela. It's his first of the season. Third down and 12 from the 36-yard line. Possession play here for Desert Ridge. Gonzalez pressured, drops it off for Alvarado, makes a man miss. Still on his feet, Alvarado's got the first down as he rumbles towards the middle of the field, and Michael Alvarado proving to be very difficult to bring down here one-on-one.
All about heart and effort. That's what that kid does. I alluded to him. Sometimes I'm wrong. I'd say a lot of times I'm wrong, but sometimes I'm right. Michael Alvarado's a heck of a high school football player. All about the heart and the effort there as Desert Ridge gets possession now inside Chavez territory.
Andre Gonzalez to Michael Alvarado for 21 yards. That's the final play of quarter number 3. We move to quarter number 4 here in Levine on the Zone 48 Broadcast Network. Our score, Cesar Chavez 12, Desert Ridge 0. Fourth quarter action coming up next.
I don't think her mic was on. I saw them trying to work it.
Being a State Farm good neighbor means going the extra mile for my customers. Our office treats our customers like family. You know, this has been a family business for me in a sense for a long time. We're going to be there for you in good times and bad times. That might mean going to meet a customer somewhere to help them. That means being involved in our local community. One thing that I love about being a good neighbor in my community is giving back to local high schools and being involved in athletics. It's a family atmosphere here. You know, this is more than a 1-800 number, and that's what I love about State Farm. I am Trey Clarkson, your local State Farm agent in Phoenix, Arizona.
We welcome you back to the fourth quarter in Ravine. Kevin Derryberry alongside Cody Cameron. And this is a pass out the flat with the football running down the sideline for Desert Ridge. This is their playmaker on defense. Now with the rock on offense, Andrew Hines, the tight end, makes a huge play. And it looks like this 40-plus yard play is coming back. A flag thrown down at the 38-yard line of Cesar Chavez.
If this is another hold, then this is just a killer. I want to see a replay of this because this is kind of like the newer RPO where they get a stock block as well. The route doesn't go any deeper than a yard. That's a not going to get it in that angle there. But it's interesting because of the RPO action. They're saying maybe the left tackle held on that. But either way, brutal because that is three big plays for Desert Ridge that have got called back in this football game, and been plays that would change the outcome of where we are right now, Kevin.
Yeah, the self-infliction tonight has been costly here for Desert Ridge. No doubt about that. One quick note for all of you insurance needs, contact Trey Clarkson State Farm for home, auto, motorcycle, boat, RV, and life. Call 623-432-1700. Trey Clarkson State Farm Insurance, proud sponsors of the Zone 48 Broadcast Network. Inside 12 to go on a balmy evening here in Laveen, Arizona. Another day over 100 degrees, Cody. And I think Cody made a big tweet about 2 weeks ago, and he completely jinxed everybody with his meteorology skills. And we just fell on that one, Cody.
I said, not even 2, I think it was 3 weeks ago, I said, hey, finally a kickoff under 100 degrees. We've had three of them. It was true. It was like 95. And then we had that Saturday the next day that was a high of 86 and nothing but fire and just awfulness here in the State Sense.
Oh, fire. Gonzalez to the air with a clean pocket. He's going to leave, and he's going to drop it off to Alvarado again. That little jump pass for Gonzalez has been effective. They have not accounted for Alvarado in the middle of the football field. His fourth catch over the middle of the football field, and you can see, boy, that was ticky-tack. That was a tough break against Desert Ridge on that play.
If that's what they called on the stock block, I cannot believe it. I thought he threw it towards the left tackle, so I'm going to hold out without seeing the whole view, because I think he dropped it near the hash, which is where the left tackle was, and instead of the numbers, because usually you're throwing it to where the spot is. But, yeah, good replay. Oh, man, that's brutal.
2nd and 6 from the 40-yard line. In it, tailback for Desert Ridge is Darrell Price. Gonzalez takes the snap, rolls to his right, fires, and that ball's caught. That's a first down reception for Desert Ridge. Making the catch was Braden Brenner. And how about a strike by Mr. Gonzalez?
I like it. We've seen it a couple weeks in a row now, right, where you're getting these mobile quarterbacks out of the pocket, having them set their feet, going max protection like they did with Alvarado on that right side, buying just a little bit more time. But when you're talking about these athletic high school quarterbacks, doing that right there for them, Kevin, sometimes gets them in a rhythm.
Gonzalez, 551 yards before tonight's game. We mentioned the 63% completion percentage. That was a gain of 13. First attempt for the 29-yard line. Gonzalez to the air. Pressure from the outside. He throws down the right sideline, and that ball's incomplete. Once again, the target was the big fella. That's Boima Sione. Providing the coverage for Chavez was Carlos Aguilar. And that was another really tough throw as far as the percentage. It was just a difficult throw to make.
Well, another thing I'm really impressed with the secondary, too, and see them evolve with the coaching that they've got with this new staff, is they're mixing up coverages there. I love what the corner's doing. He's in a zone bail technique. His eyes are at the quarterback, but he feels with the backside that receiver, pins the receiver towards the sideline, and is well overhead to play that deep ball. It's a great job by the defensive back.
The champions had won 3 consecutive games before the Mountain Point loss last week in Ahwatukee. Alvarado, a little stutter step. Alvarado trying to slip through that tackle, and you have to credit the purple shirts for holding on for dear life, but Alvarado continues to fight for every single minute of this football game.
I want to go back to that Mountain Point game because they were coming off a 3-win streak against Westview, Fairfax, really not very good teams, and then a Camelback team who has played really tough. Their record's not going to show it, but they played tough. The Mountain Point game, when I was talking to Coach Hovick before the game, he said, hey, our kids are really fired up. There's a lot of smack talking in that football game, but we had 5 turnovers early that kind of dropped us there. He said, talent-wise, though, I think we're there, and I love that. I still love that for Chavez.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They got a lot of good players here. This is going to be a playoff team this year, I believe. There's no question about that. Speaking of a playoff team, Ridge was a playoff team last season for Coach Roy Lopez. And once again, Alvarado with his 6th reception out of the backfield here in tonight's game. Doing a nice job, and Alvarado continues to make plays when he has the football in his hands.
How about the finish in the jump cut? Here we go. We're going to get a nice replay down on the field. So hits the swing out, bam, little jump cut, makes 2 guys miss. Watch the finish, boof, keeping his feet running, getting an additional 3 to 4 yards. Michael Alvarado, man, it's an early player of the game contender. We have given it to players on teams that have lost before. Just the effort of him. He is the best player on the field here tonight.
Effort is everything. Michael Alvarado, 6 receptions unofficially out of the backfield, and then making plays like that, just becoming an absolute bulldozer and running with physicality, and he said, the finish.
Well, how about their quarterback, too? So Andre Gonzalez comes off for a good chunk of this football game, Kevin, and sometimes as a senior, right, that's pretty demoralizing. The junior who had sat the entire first half of the season comes in, plays an entire second quarter. He makes a mistake, throws the pick inside their own 20, and then Andre Gonzalez, the senior, comes up poised and not afraid to hit the checkdowns, which is huge because it's picking up yardage, and now the best drive for Desert Ridge here. Their best opportunity to put points on the board. Yeah,
of course, they were in the red zone earlier, and then they fumbled the football and had to return some 80-plus yards. That was on the house call by Tyus Graves. That was the first score of this football game. That was eons ago.
Eons, very nice. Look at you, jargon. Good vocabulary.
Trying to mix up the vernacular. But going back to Alvarado for a second, entering play tonight, he was the leading receiver on this football team, and with 6 or 7 catches tonight, he's just adding that on his ledger. But you haven't seen the big plays from the wide receivers here for Desert Ridge tonight.
You have not, but they've taken what's been there, right?
Yes.
Chavez has done a great job of keeping everything in front of them, and so those windows have been open.
In the slot to left for Desert Ridge, this is Braden Brenner. And on this drive, the second consecutive drive at quarterback, it's been Andre Gonzalez in relief of Blake Julian. We saw Julian play in that second quarter. Gonzalez play fake, goes towards the end zone, and it's going to be just shy of the end zone. And making the catch is the tight end. Once again, that's Deuces, Andrew Hines, and he's a target. He's been making big plays defensively, but now he's trying to get in this game offensively.
That was a play-action hot route, and very similar to the play that Chavez tried to run for the end zone that Mason Penrod fired in. That time, Andre Gonzalez just put a little bit more sauce on it, and nice pitch and catch down inside the 5. Now go the Jags.
1st and goal to go. Well, yeah, it looks like it's 1st and goal to go. And it's Alvarado changing direction, and he's going to try to work his way towards the middle of the field, and there's going to be about 3 defensive linemen just plastered into the turf. One of those guys in the middle there for Chavez was Daniel Sauceda Jr., and he had some help. Josiah Gandy also down there. A lot of these guys going both ways here tonight for Coach Hovick's team.
So in my opinion here, without a doubt, it's 4-down territory. If you're going to pass the ball off a play-action pass, this would be the down to do it. But I also love just 3 runs going north here too, Kevin.
2nd and goal, the deep back is Alvarado. This is going to be the quarterback on a keep, and pushing the quarterback in the end zone was Andrew Hines. And scoring the touchdown, this is Blake Julian. And Blake Julian breaks the play on a quarterback sneak, had some help from Hines, as we mentioned. All kinds of flags dropped in the end zone. With 8:22 to go in this football game, it's now 12-6 point after try upcoming here, and we got a brand new game.
Kevin, we had the tush push. We had the tush push motioning Andrew Hines in, just shifting behind Julian, gets pushed into the end zone. That is going to be a post-celebration flag. All it looked like was they put a little tee up, I'm guessing, for touchdown, and a little trio, a little party in the end zone. and it banks a 15. I
don't understand
Yeah.
the call because this team has had an 85-yard
Let them have fun.
score return. I mean, they've had some a big kickoff return
Yep.
for a touchdown. They've had some plays negated due to some penalties. You would think they let them celebrate when they finally score a legit touchdown. So the point after try upcoming here for Ridge. It's Albie Thompson, and he can't get anything because it's Alvarado has the football, and Alvarado is going to be cleaned up around the 8-yard line. So nothing doing on that point after try. And with 20, make it 8:22 to go. You got to understand, from our standpoint, we can look to the right. The Longines scoreboard shows 22 seconds. The Longines scoreboard has been incorrect the entire night, which is bizarre.
Oh, okay. Well, we're getting a replay of this, and there's a little dancing. So watch. We're gonna check this out. We got a little dancing here. So a spin, a little. Okay, it was a little bit more celebratory than
what
I
was
thought.
that wasn't the gritty. What were they
No,
doing there?
I don't know. It looked like an elephant trunk or something, man. But the spin ball. Okay.
Let me ask you this.
There's a little bit more than.
Do you think that any player that scores a touchdown should get about 30 seconds to do whatever they want, as long as it's not disrespectful?
I mean, back when I played, I don't actually remember anybody celebrate. You get to celebrate with your team. I hate the whole group celebration, getting flagged for that if you're celebrating with a team. What do you think? You're going to have no emotion there? I don't know. I guess the spin.
Do you want to see Tyreek Hill with all of his teammates in the end zone kayaking all together or whatever?
The NFL's actually let that play a little bit, right? It's just so I saw the Commanders game against the Cardinals this past week. They flagged one of their running backs for doing the bow and arrow.
How about Andre Gonzalez? And this is a little offy here, but just the body type. Jaden Daniels, just the body type. Long and lanky?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It plays in the NFL.
It does. Yes, it does.
So the Jags get penalized. They're going to have to kick this off from the 25-yard line with the kicking responsibility. This is going to be George Arvizu. So Arvizu will put his right foot into one. And this should be good field position here for Chavez. And on the pooch kick, we get whistles. So it looks like perhaps that Desert Ridge jumped off sides. 12-6 our score, so it's a one-possession game. For Chavez last week, they used 4 different guys to throw the football. Nevin Reed threw a pass. Glenn Ermish threw 8 passes. Mason Penrod went 9 for 19, had 3 interceptions in that tough defeat against Mountain Point. But it's tough to beat the Pride in Ahwatukee. It always has been.
They have a loaded 2025 class. Their senior class has, let's count, about 4 or 5 Division I football players and some of the top in the state of Arizona. Here is another score update from Red Mountain High School. Mountain Lions extend their lead 25-11 over Highland, entering the 4th quarter.
Wow.
That'd be massive for Enders. Huge win for Enders if they can pull that off.
It would be a big win, and Richard Ober was telling me he didn't think that Red Mountain was an open team. Well, you better reconsider that right here and right now. On the return, this is Woodbury. See you later. He's going to go 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. That's a touchdown for the Cesar Chavez Champions. It's MJ Woodbury. Give him 6. Unofficially 60-plus yards.
How about the move he puts on the kicker? We're going to get a replay here. It was just so fast. A little pooch kick up top. Catches it about at the 35-yard line, going north to south. Watch this little cut. And whoop! Plants his left foot, cuts against the grain, and up the middle of the field, taking it 65 yards to the house. Mr. Woodbury, what a return.
He cribs it 65 yards later. MJ Woodbury, that's why he's an all-region returner. Last year in this 6A Fiesta region, he might be one of the better return men in all the state of Arizona, any classification. So with 8:12 to go, Chavez with a huge kick return. And they try to tack on the point after try, and they do. And let's hope the kicker's okay. He's coming up a little bit gimpy. That was Charlton Apperty. So the point after try is true. 8:12 remaining in quarter number 4, our new score. The Champions 19 and the Jaguars 6. Speed kills, Cody, and then the juju on the kicker, that little shoulder dance, it was all green grass in front of him.
Yeah, it was a great return, and for Desert Ridge, just another gut punch. They've had 3 of these today, and like I said, 0-5, a lot of things go wrong on a team that's this well coached when they start a season 0-5. Talking to Lopez prior to the game, it's a man who's coached for a long time, and he said it's his first time ever starting 0-5. So obviously he's kind of sick to his stomach there, knowing he's got a young team and a huge, very, very tough non-region schedule. But now they're in region play, and coming out here tonight where I feel like their defensive effort has been an A. And for grading that, it's been A with effort, and they've executed a really, really good job putting their offense in positions to succeed. But at the same time, just things have not gone their way at all. Giving up a kick, giving up the ensuing kickoff return for a touchdown after scoring is a killer.
No doubt about that. The ensuing kickoff return for 6 points. A shout out to one of the assistant football coaches for Cesar Chavez, Lance Raymer. Just good people. Good people. And how about the return for Desert Ridge, and making the return, that was Lamar Stevens. Lamar Stevens was targeted early in the first half, and then he has been non-existent here in the second half. And you got to credit that champion defense to take him out of this game, but a nice return for Desert Ridge with their answer after the kick return for the champions.
Yeah, starting inside the 40, I believe here, on the outside of the 40, but either way, in Chavez territory. Okay, 8 minutes. I'm looking at the score. It says 4 seconds there. But we have our beautiful lower third graphic with Trey Clarkson on there as well. And so you have 8 minutes left in the fourth. You don't have to abandon the run. That's what's been working for Desert Ridge. Don't have to abandon it. Start running the football, continuously to run the football, and work off play action. That's totally fine.
So Blake Julian scored the touchdown, but they're going to go to a middle screen. That ball's picked off. It's intercepted. And for the champions, with the pick, that was Jake Hernandez, and we almost had a big man touchdown right there. Well, there's 295s, and you got to love that, right? You got to love that.
That one's our guy, Bryce Moore.
Bryce Moore.
Yeah, Bryce Moore. And that's a great job. Bryce Moore, man, sitting there. You have they've ran that prior. They ran that screen pass, and Alvarado trying to get behind him. Bryce Moore sniffs it out and pickpockets the pass. And that is, once again, talking about shooting yourself in the foot if you're Desert Ridge. That is a killer right there.
And the defensive fronts for both teams have played really well in this football game. The front 7 for Chavez doing a great job there, and it was Bryce Moore, 5'8", 250, and he was rumbling with the rock. So, Coach Hovig's team with golden field position here, trying to blow this one open. Penrod back in at quarterback, and they hand it off to Jenkins. Jenkins is going to be strung out, and there's nothing doing at all. You talk about pursuit to the football, just outstanding work by Desert Ridge. Getting there first was the linebacker, Xander Fuentes. And, boy, he was on the hunt, and he found the kill.
Yeah, it was a brigade of it, too. You had Xander Fuentes and Jackson Brown coming from that outside backer, strong safety position as well, and they're hunting. That front 7 is doing a great job of rallying to the football, where that was one of Chavez's strengths, staying so balanced, and they really haven't got too much going on the run because Desert Ridge has been so stout defensively.
Well, I got to just mention Simon Lopez and Bodie Wagner, they might be too much for Highland tonight. We have no idea who's scoring there, but Mason Penrod gets the carry to the outside 30, 25. He's got the first down as he turns the corner and takes the football inside the red zone. So Mason Penrod has done a nice job running the football when they call his number, and he's played a little bully ball to boot.
And I want to say that was probably Desert Ridge defensively their worst play. Reason why being they've been so stout with their gap scheme on that play. The forced player on the field side, he gets sucked in. Mason Penrod sees it. He bounces out on that quarterback keeper and evades a couple would-be tacklers, moving the sticks, picking up 15.
Nice gain there by Mason Penrod. Handoff to the tailback. It looks like it's Ferris Jenkins, the ball carrier. Fatigue starting to settle in a little bit for both sides. The guys in the trenches playing on a very hot night. Got to credit them for staying hydrated tonight. Usually in a game like this, we've seen 2 or 3 cramps by now, but guys are starting to they're 6 games into it, right? They understand they got to stay hydrated.
Well, especially right now, it's still 92 degrees at 9
92.
o'clock on October 3rd, 92 degrees. And there's no breeze here, especially on the concrete that we're standing on. No breeze at all. One of the hottest places in the country still, Phoenix, Arizona.
2nd and 8. Penrod to the tailback with speed. This is Mr. Woodbury. And Woodbury turns the corner along the numbers, takes the ball inside the 10 to the 5, and that's where he's tackled there by David Poorman. David Poorman with the defensive stop, penalty marker on the play, and this one's going to come back. Pat Taranis with the call, our white hat official. So Woodbury has a nice run denied. 6:15 to go. Once again, a quick thank you to Trey Clarkson, State Farm Insurance. For all of your insurance needs, contact Trey Clarkson, State Farm for home, auto, motorcycle, boat, RV, and life. Call 623-432-1700. That's Trey Clarkson, State Farm Insurance. So after the penalty sends the Champions backwards, they're now playing behind the sticks. Ball's put down on the 27-yard line, right in the middle between the hash marks. Woodbury remains in. And Woodbury gets the call. Sweeps left, tries to turn it upfield, nothing doing. Again, great pursuit to the football. And the angles of the Jaguars to get to the ball carrier. That was Leonidas To'oto'o.
Are you going 2-0-2-0 or Leonidas 2-0-2? I have no.
To'oto'o.
To'oto'o. Leonidas 2-0-2-0.
But you can go 2-0-2-0.
So his little brother, he comes from a long tree. He had a cousin that played at USC who was a stud. But he has and then another who played at Bama. The Bama players in the NFL right now. He has an 8th grade brother who is already a man-child. And Coach Lopez cannot wait for him to get into the program, he said.
Well, for Leonidas, he is 6'1", 230 as a sophomore, ladies and gentlemen. Ridge showing blitz. Here they come. Penrod to the air. End zone shot. He's got Nevin Reed there, and that ball's incomplete. And tied up with Nevin Reed was Lamar Stevens. So the safety and Nevin Reed got locked up, and there's some chattering going on there. And interesting effort here. Ball hanging up there, and there was nothing doing. So they're going to get Stevens for a hold, or if nothing else, pass interference. And that's going to allow the Champions to move the football up. This will not be a first down. So it's all about the placement of the football and the yardage here, Cody.
I always thought that was interesting with the high school rules where, you hold the guy that prevent him from a touchdown. You would think it's everybody else, right? It's a automatic first down. In the high school level, it is not. They just move it usually down here about 15 yards. But, yes, they go cover 0. Once again, double A-gap blitz. And Lamar Stevens kind of just gets a grab of that jersey. Got some confusion as well.
It looks like the Champions are going to be at the 14-yard line.
So it's all about where they put the rock down. Clock is stopped at 4:53. It'll be a 3rd down play for Cesar Chavez. For Chavez, in the last 10 years, they went 57-44 under 4 coaches. Jim Rattay, Manuel Alcantar, Will Chipley had a brief stint, and then William Burrell. And now here it is, Chandler Hovick. So stability has arrived in the name of Chandler Hovick.
Let's see what kind of havoc Coach Hovick.
Penrod takes the snap, and he's going to have nothing doing at all. Whatever hole that was there, it closed up immediately as Penrod had called his own number. He was calling 8 the whole way. Penalty marker, no, I beg your pardon, is a referee has
Desert Ridge player. Yeah, Desert Ridge player down.
Injured player for Ridge. He's trying to get up.
3-4, David Poorman.
We were just talking about how we hadn't had any issues with cramps or anything like that. But this will give us a short pause here. We're going to take a timeout. You're watching Thursday Night Football on the Zone 48 Broadcast Network. We got to figure out how we can hear him talk. So many things.
Educating our customers is so important to us because we want them to have all the knowledge on what it's going to take to protect them and their family. One of the things that our office is passionate about is life insurance. Our goal is to protect families and protect their future and protect what they've worked so hard to achieve. It's our mission to not shy away from talking about health insurance and disability insurance and let them make informed decisions on what is best for them and their family. I am Trey Clarkson, your local State Farm agent in Phoenix, Arizona.
A little to the left, please.
And the receiver gets knocked down on the end zone, and penalty markers come flying in everywhere. For Chavez, it was Peyton Stokes.
I think the officials skipped the hanky and threw a whole T-shirt on that play.
So it looks like pass interference in the end zone. You got to figure that Cruz Colomar, who was a medallion winner after that big game, he's got to be gassed having to play on short rest.
That's a tough call for Highland. You know, to play an emotional game against Chandler, especially how physical it is, and to go short week against Red Mountain, who honestly, I told you before the season, I said I think the Mountain Lions are a top 5 team in the state of Arizona. Yeah. Their defense is incredible.
The thing is, and I'm with you, and I really did disagree, I've got to keep that check because we both know Coach Enders very well to different degrees, right? And so I know the skepticism that goes with that process, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to keep that real. I didn't want to homer up. You can, but I didn't disagree. And I love that football team. They're so good. But Highland, you know, they're outstanding. Chandler has something to say with this whole thing. We haven't seen Liberty yet. They're going to be in this. I mean, we have parity in the 6A conference, and we found out today that the 4A conference is no longer eligible,
which is the right call.
Open division. I think that is the right call. So
let 4A stay in because the reason why you made the open was for 2 teams. You made it for Saguaro, who's in 4A, and you made it for Centennial in 5A. Good. They've been in 6A for a few years now, and now you're going to actually see Saguaro kind of drop, man. And to me, they're probably playing 5A here in the next couple of years.
And did you happen to see Centennial got their first win last week, and they went with the backup quarterback during the game,
Ethan Beltran.
And Ethan Beltran was 12 of 13 for 200 yards in that contest.
Yeah. And this week, I think they play Saguaro. They get all their transfers this week.
Yeah.
That team is going to be totally fine. They're not going to blame the open. Centennial will be just fine the rest of the way.
But it will be interesting to see who their quarterback is going the rest of the way, because they've got Sugarcane, Kanan Manna there as well. So it's second down, and well, with the chains are down. Running with the football on the far side, another penalty flag comes in. This is just agony at this stage. It's agony in the heat. Running the rock for Chavez. Going back to Miles Johnson. Last year, the Chavez champions, Cesar Chavez, finished 3-7. They did go 4-1 in the 6A Fiesta region. Legendary coach Jim Rattay, 57-39 in 9 campaigns here at Cesar Chavez. I believe Coach Rattay is sitting on career number 299 coaching victories.
Every time I see an article, because Obert will write articles of what he's up to, he's helping so many different leagues. I think he's helping a youth league right now.
1 win.
It's incredible.
Bring him in. But, you know, I don't think that's important to Coach Rattay. Of course, his son Tim played, John Rattay, got to play in the league, breaking another tackle. That is Miles Johnson. And, boy, it just seems like the air has come out of the building here for both teams. We have just run into a lethargic pace. And we're looking over here at some cooler temperatures around the globe, and we don't find any.
That's true. Speaking of things that were kind of on fire coming in, Mason Penrod in the passing game, 9 touchdowns heading into this football game. I don't know if he has more than Kevin, we don't have a statistician up here, but I don't know if he's got more than 30 yards passing in this football game. You know? maybe 1 or 2 completions.
With the scoop and score and the defensive plays made here and the kick returns, there hasn't been a lot of offensive numbers on the ledger tonight.
But, I mean, think about that. Coming in this game, Nevin Reed, 545 yards receiving, 5 touchdowns. And Peyton Stokes, 400-plus yards receiving and 4 touchdowns. So 2 guys that have been almost non-existent.
I think shut out tonight.
Shut out, yeah, but balance-wise, it's showing Chavez, hey, if those aren't open, we can scrap 2 and go north to south.
Right.
You know, and I think that's a big thing for an offense.
They can win other ways.
Yes. Now, obviously, do you want to see those playmakers get the ball in space maybe or find ways to get the ball? But you have a guy like Woodbury who you have in the return game, and he's carried the rock a couple of times. That, to me, is what if I take away anything from this game on the offensive side for Chavez, is they have some luxury. They have luxury pieces here that are going to help them when they have to go play Mountain View. You know,
right.
in a couple weeks in region play. Because that, to me, if they win this game, that's for the region crown right there is that Mountain View Chavez game.
This team has the pieces that can surprise people down the road. Of course, they get Westwood and Mesa up next.
Yep.
Those are region games. Penrod rolls to the near side. He wants to throw it towards the end zone. Going back to Nevin Reed, and that ball is incomplete. Boy, Nevin Reed had a slight step on Lamar Stevens, but for Stevens, stride for stride, providing some outstanding coverage from the defensive back standpoint.
And that's big, too, because that's kind of like a longer route development, especially with Mason Penrod escaping the pocket, him doing a good job of the closing speed and making sure he tries to get hip to hip and make it a tougher pass. He actually did do a good job of pressing Nevin Reed towards the sideline.
One thing we're learning here tonight, Roy Lopez can coach, his staff can coach, their game plan has been outstanding tonight. They just haven't had the execution, but they've had plays negated. They've had big plays that could really turn the outcome of this game in another direction. They could flip this game onside had they had those plays stand up for them. So I've learned a lot about this Desert Ridge football team here tonight.
Yeah, I love the effort, especially from the defensive side of the ball. But you are exactly correct, Kevin. It's just been 3 or 4 plays that have just been brutal.
MJ Woodbury, he's a game changer. He's in the backfield. This is a pass, and there's the first reception, and it's a hook and ladder. They go to Woodbury after the catch was made. Securing the football was Peyton Stokes. I believe that's his first catch of the game. It comes at the 3:19 mark, and on the hook and ladder, the Desert Ridge defense gets Woodbury to step out of bounds, and they're going to get the football back.
Yeah, here's the problem, right? You run that hitch on the hook and ladder right at the 15. Nice job by Desert Ridge. Their defensive back staying just a little bit where he doesn't go all the way up to commit to it, so he's able to push out Woodbury out of bounds. And that's another stop from the Desert Ridge defense, who have really only given up 1 score in this football game, because you had the kickoff return, you had the scoop and score for Chavez, and the touchdown you gave up was coming off an interception where they were inside the 15. So Desert Ridge, once again, their defense held so strong here tonight.
Yeah, nice job by the defensive back to play the boundary, to play the field, and allow that runner to get himself down, if you will. But I like MJ Woodbury. I like his breakaway speed. I like his defensive back ability. And he's just a game changer when you put the rock in his hands.
He really is. And here's where Coach Hovick is going to have some headaches. He's going to bring a couple of his guys in and said, hey, you made it. You hit the nail on the head. You said, kind of looks like the wind's kind of out of the building. It's, hey, let's gather up and finish. Going to the Mountain Point game, it's just, not only do we not execute up, we had a hard time finishing a football game. I think when you look at their schedule, they were so amped up to play Chandler. They're so young. Hovick said they started 8 sophomores in that football game, and then you go to the next 3 where it's, I hate to use the word gimmies, but it truly is when you look at that schedule that they had those next 3 games. And then Mountain Point, you play a good team, which, hey, this is a 6A team. You're going to play teams like that where you have to come all 4 quarters. They've done a great job here tonight scoring in multiple ways, but he's bringing his team together and going, hey, we need to finish these games.
Yeah, and heading into tonight's play, Ridge was getting outscored 213 to 41. That's minus 172. So they got to find a way to generate some offense. And Michael Alvarado has done what he can here tonight. He's done a nice job. He's been one tough hombre, no doubt about it. All right, this is an empty set for Andre Gonzalez. See if they can't make something out of this next 3:19. Gonzalez from the pocket, rifles one to the outside, and that ball is caught. That's our first down catch. And that is Boima Sione. And this is his first game as a member of Desert Ridge, and he looks the part tonight as a reliable wide receiver, a reliable pass catcher.
Yeah, he's had a couple nice deep catches as well. They're just running a curl route right to the sticks. Chavez kind of just playing a bail technique once again. They have the 2-deep shell, but they're really going in like a quarters look with those corners just bailing in. And nice job by Andre Gonzalez finding him.
That's a gain of 16 yards. 1st and 10, Desert Ridge. Empty set again for Gonzalez. Looks right, fires right. They go right back to Sione. He makes the catch, and they just bully him out of bounds. Applying the hit out of bounds or right on the boundary was Carlos Aguilar. Give him the force out. And right now, Gonzalez playing with some confidence, and they're playing with some tempo. But before that, Desert Ridge is going to lose a lineman, falling to the turf and trying to get himself back up. That was Ben Reichert. Reichert, 6'1", 260, laboring just a little bit.
Yeah, long-time center, too, so hopefully Ben's okay. As we call it, we have a team timeout, and we have a final score from Red Mountain. Red Mountain remains undefeated with an at-home victory, 28-11 over Highland.
Wow.
Coach Enders.
Simon Lopez, that ground game that they have, keeping Highland under 15 points is impressive.
Oh, it's incredible.
But you got to figure that this is just the game on the schedule, the date, that Highland wasn't fully charged tonight. No excuses for anybody. We didn't see the game. We have no idea what happened in that game. But you got to figure going to that game, that's a tough draw to play Red Mountain at their place after getting beat up by Chandler, even though they won the football game in the way that they did.
To me, Red Mountain's just the most complete team in the East Valley right now, outside of Basha. The most complete team.
They are rocking and rolling under Coach Kyle Enders. 3rd down and 4 from the 29-yard line. Gonzalez steps through some pressure, and he can't step through it all. He gets taken down again. That's the 3rd sack of the night for the champions. Makai Hodge was there. Give him a half sack if he didn't get there and get it all himself. But Makai Hodge, Cody, when you look at this young man, he's a specimen. 6'2", 225, just a sophomore. Another super sophomore.
When you look at the 2027 class, you have Jake Hildebrand at offensive tackle for Basha. You're going to see him tomorrow night. He's got 8 million offers, and Makai Hodge is another one where the in-state schools love him. And he was a player that kind of, as a freshman last year, played 2 ways. He still plays like the H-back tight end role, but they really like him at defense to see the way he grows a little bit in terms of frame. But if he gets a little taller, you're looking at a 6'5", 240-pound defensive end prospect who is going to highlight a 2027 class, Kevin, that is loaded. Tomorrow night, you're going to see Jake Hildebrand, Noah Roberts, who is special, and a couple of these other guys.
Oh, no, Roberts, the tailback. Yeah, another dude, right? Just outstanding. 2:29 to go. 4th down and 10 for Gonzalez. And he throws the ball outside. That ball is incomplete. He was trying to hit Sione on a comeback route, and it was Miles Johnson that had a beat on that football. He was in better position to make the catch than Sione.
Yeah, we had a great look at it. It looks like he got tipped at the line, but also Johnson just, in his pass drop, he kind of T-steps and goes right to the flat, and that's a nice play by the Chavez linebacker. The Chavez defense has done such a great job tonight. Really, really impressed with the Chavez unit.
So we hope to have conversation with Chandler Hovick at the completion of tonight's game, assuming that they hold on and take care of business the next 2:24. We want to thank all of our global viewing audience tonight. We know that there's an opportunity to watch the National Football League on Thursday night. We had another dandy tonight between Tampa Bay and Atlanta. And then, of course, tonight we're going up against Highland and Red Mountain. But we thank you for watching tonight on the main stage. Cesar Chavez and Desert Ridge. And it's been a really good football game, closely contested. A lot of people thought going into this game it might be a blowout on one side of the ball. Not the case at all here in region play. So our first game in October, yeah, we were hoping for a little cooler temp, but we know the cooler temperatures are coming. They're about 4 weeks away, Cody.
Well, that's the thing, right? I just feel like this year it's totally skipping that 90-degree weeks we get usually at the tail end of September, and we're going to go just right to the 80s, which means the nights will probably be in the 60s, which is great, but it's just we're going from 100 to 60. Insane in the state of Arizona.
It is. I've got to still plant my rye. I got to overseed the lawn and get that going here. Again, Ridge showing blitz. 2nd down and 10 from the 24-yard line. Penrod hands it off to Jenkins, and Jenkins running the football. And we've talked about this word before. We use it quite often because it applies to tackle football, but balance. It seemed like Coach Hovick, he's got some balance with this group.
They really did, and I thought maybe they'd kind of go guns a-blazing because that's what Mountain View, that's really what Brady Goodman, their junior quarterback, he lit up Desert Ridge last week. I mean, that's the nicest way to put it. Those receivers had a field day, but they also saw, I mean, Reese Bodley, who was a running back for them, who had been hurt the last few weeks, they saw had some holes. I think that's what Hovick said, and talking to Coach Hovick up here in the press box prior, he said the same thing. He said, hey, they're 0-5, but that's a tough team. They just haven't been able to figure it out completely, but those are the teams that scare me. They have nothing to lose. The seniors on that side, realistically, it's their last time ever playing this game. So in terms of effort and how well coached, he's like, hey, this is a really scary game. That's what I love, the game plan that Chavez had, saying, hey, they're taking away our 2 star receivers. We got to find other ways to win this game, and they have scoring in 3 different ways here tonight.
And Sammy Johns, again.
Oh, he's called a great game.
What a tremendous effort here calling this game defensively for Roy Lopez. I've been impressed from both coaches, and both coaches and their staffs very appreciative of the Zone 48 Broadcast Network being here, calling this game. You know what, it's a great chance for us to be here, and the champions, they don't get a lot of love like this, and I think this is a team that deserves some exposure, and they're getting it here tonight. 3rd down and 9. Penrod up the middle to Miles, and Miles is going to take it into the end zone. He's going to score a touchdown. Wow. Miles Johnson weaving his way down the field, and almost as these guys were cones, I think they're gas, but Miles Johnson at the 5 with the bounce out to the left, and then takes it into the end zone for the rushing score.
Yeah, just right up the gut. A nice kick-out block there for the offensive lineman. Got a couple guys working to the second level. A couple of those receivers, Peyton Stokes that we've highlighted, he working his way to the second level, gets a kick-out block, and Miles Johnson finds pay dirt for a Chavez touchdown late in this football game.
Miles Johnson, his 4th rushing touchdown of the season. That stretches out the lead here to 25-6. Point out the try-up coming here. And it looks like Charlton Apperty is going to get a chance here to tack on one more point. Out of the hold of Marcus Newman. And the kick is on its way, and the kick
got blocked. Blocked at the line.
It's no good. It was blocked. I'm looking at the line judge and the back judge, and they're looking over their shoulders like, where's the ball? So that was by cue, but you could tell the rock was out in front. Kick is no good, so the score remains 25-6. Cesar Chavez. The champions look to improve to 4-2 on the year after 6 games, and for Desert Ridge, they're going to fall to 0-6. And you look at the next game on the schedule, they'll be at Tolleson, and Rich Welbrock's team hasn't necessarily had their banner-type campaign, so that's going to be an interesting ball game. I have not seen Tolleson yet this year, but I like what Ridge has done here to set themselves up to win on the road next week.
I've never seen a more brutal August for a program at the 6A level. Tolleson coming in had like 5 or 6 Division I kids, and they still do. Rico Blossingame is a junior receiver for them. He's so talented. Tolleson had 4 or 5 kids leave, Kevin. So this is probably Desert Ridge's best opportunity to get a win next week. But it's just brutal. If you look at this game, Kevin, the Jags defensively have played so well, and they're going to lose this game by 3 scores, you know?
And that's how it's been all season long.
Yep.
As I mentioned just a moment ago. So Roy Lopez, 14-22 in his 4 years. And Coach Lopez, 169 career wins. Coach Lopez, I don't know if we shared this already, but Coach Lopez, Roy Lopez Jr., suits up on Sundays in the league, the National Football League, for your Arizona Cardinals. And that is a proud moment. I know Coach Lopez, he's humble about it, but I'm like, Coach, it's you and me. You can let it all hang out, man. Let's be overjoyed together. Let's celebrate your son in the league, because that is an incredible accomplishment, and you can well up, tear up, you can get emotional because it is real.
It's such a proud moment, and every time I talk to him, and here's a great thing, Roy Jr., they call Jacob, he always comes back to the state of Arizona, Kevin, and he gives back to the youth, and I love that. He's a great individual. He's a great leader and mentor for a lot of kids. He holds the Roy Lopez camp. Yeah, 3 years he's run this camp. It's a free camp where he brings multiple Arizona Cardinal players out. They host it at Desert Ridge. They have all the food trucks. They have over 600 participants at those camps.
That's
totally free, getting taught by Arizona Cardinals players.
And I think that's part of their future, right? To continue to do those camps, continue to build, because they're lower levels we've talked about.
Yep.
The numbers are not tremendous, but they have the benefit and the luxury of some time, right? I don't know if Coach Lopez and his staff has that kind of time, but that community has time. That school deserves a winning program. Jeremy Hathcock did such an amazing job over there, and it kind of goes overlooked sometimes when you think about what Coach Hathcock did. I mean, all he did was win. 11 straight years in the postseason for Desert Ridge. Just a remarkable career over there. Coach Hathcock, 109 wins with 51 defeats. Played the championship twice, lost to Centennial and Hamilton. And that's not bad on your resume when you lose some programs like that.
No, not at all. And I think what's happening to that program, and we talked about it pregame, you have schools like Highland, you have schools like Eastmark, and you have Red Mountain, and they're all in a vicinity of about 3 to 5 miles, and those programs are juggernauts right now. Anybody that lives in some of the Desert Ridge boundaries are kind of going to those other schools, and it's just tough. But that's 6A football, and that's the nature of the state of Arizona right now.
That is how it's grown so much here all over the western part of the United States. Gonzalez to the air, rifles a pass, and that ball is caught. Good delivery of the football. Royce McLean makes the reception, and McLean makes the catch and then turns it upfield for that run after the catch. Impressive throw, great catch. Nice play.
He's had a great game. You know, it goes back to that kickoff return he took to the house. God, that would have changed the outcome of this. That was a huge holding penalty on that, but Royce McLean has been a playmaker tonight.
Gain of 11, final 40 seconds. It's 25-6. Ball's marked at the 50-yard line. Gonzalez has tripped to the right. Alvarado remains in the tailback, and now we're going to get another flag on the play. All right, we think we're setting things up for a quick conversation with Chandler Hovick here upon completion of tonight's game. That is what we are working for. And we have people in place, Cody, to make it happen.
I'm excited. I think it's a huge key, adding Ariana. Let's go. I was thinking Ariana, and then I was like, no, that's Ariana.
Ariana.
Adding
like
a key addition.
Jordan.
Adding a key addition to the broadcast,
Yes.
making our broadcast look good.
From the 45-yard line, Alvarado is the tailback. Gonzalez back to throw. Quick throw over the middle. I like the release. That ball's out, and that ball is recovered by Desert Ridge. Falling on the loose football for Ridge was Xander Wright, and I like the release. We talked about Andre Gonzalez. That is a quick release with a little gas on that throw. All right, I was exaggerating when I said Jaden Daniels, but the body type is there.
100%. How about the hit, though? Coming down from
Big
the
hit.
defensive back position, heck of a play.
This might be the final snap of the game. Gonzalez steps up in the pocket. He delivers down the field. It's a seam route caught by Alvarado. He's going to be free to the 10, the 5. He's going to walk in for a touchdown. We play to the whistle here in Levine, and Michael Alvarado takes one to the end zone. What a play.
Just an absolute dagger from Andre Gonzalez and Michael Alvarado up the seam on that boundary side. Makes a man miss. The man of the hour. Once again, we've done it a couple times. I got to give a player of the game to a losing team. I'll do it. Michael Alvarado has been a dude out here on this football field tonight.
Unofficially, his 8th catch of the game. This one goes for 40-plus. I believe he's now gone over the century mark in yardage tonight. So you're looking for explosive plays. You didn't get them tonight from Nevin Reed and Peyton Stokes, but you did get them from Michael Alvarado. There goes McLean in motion. Snap back to Gonzalez. He throws for the 2-point conversion, and that ball is incomplete. In the back of the end zone, Lamar Stevens was there, but I think the guy in front might have touched the ball initially, Cody.
Yeah, I think that's what Gonzalez is saying. He said, hey, that was for the receiver behind you. A couple people on the route. They go Max Pro to the right side. And just an unfortunate event there. It looks like Brenner kind of acting as a defender, jumping the route, tipping the ball. I think it was for McLean.
How about the no quit with this offense to lead a scoring drive here with 1 second to go?
I love the effort from Desert Ridge. Like you said, no quit. But those are Coach Lopez's team, right? Coach Lopez, his teams are like that. We also just got a shot of what's down at Chavez. I love that from the Chavez coaches. Why? It's accountability. It's finishing games. Like, hey, guys, like, every route, every rep counts here.
Yes.
Like, we still have to finish the game. And it's not coming from just Chandler Hovick. It's assistant coaches. That stuff matters. That means they're all in. Those coaching staff is all in. They know they're going to win this football game, but they are all in, and they expect every rep to give 100%. So that was having that shot down there. I absolutely love seeing that from the Chavez coaches.
They've coached through 47 minutes and 59 seconds. They've got 1 second left to coach this game, and for the players, 1 second left to finish. On the kick, here is George Arvizu. It's an onside kick. It's covered up there by Cesar Chavez, and covering it up for the champions. It would have to be that way. I saw 14. I have no 14 on my roster.
It was 14, but that's okay because we're going to wait till another week to have the Max Preps rosters messed up for us.
We appreciate you.
Well, Cody, let's do it ourselves. This Thursday night, our player of the game has to be Michael Alvarado, and there was a great group of guys for Chavez. MJ Woodbury comes to mind. I thought he played outstanding for the champions. And defensively, they had guys flying the football all evening long. But Michael Alvarado, in a road game, and an offense that was trying to find identity, playing with 2 different quarterbacks. He was the constant. He was the stable environment for them and made big plays, over 100 yards receiving, nothing bigger than that touchdown reception, and the run after the catch again. He was explosive with the football tonight.
Effort and playmaking ability, big pluses right there for Michael Alvarado. If we're going to Chavez, I think defensively they have impressed me so much. I like Tyus Graves. It was awesome job by Chavez.
And Ariana has Chandler Hovick down on the field. Let's head down to the field. Ariana Wright there with the winning coach, Chandler Hovick. Take it away, Ariana.
Hi guys, I'm here with Coach Hovick. Coach Hovick, how was your win tonight?
This is everything to us. It's been 2 years since our last region win, so to come out here in the first region game and get it done was awesome.
Yeah, I'm hearing it's your first year here. You're transferring from Central.
Yes, ma'am. This is my alma mater, so to be back here and to be with these guys, and these guys, their hard work is paying off right now.
Absolutely, they went out there and proved their offensive power all night. Do you have any plans for your success in the future?
Yeah, so we're going into a bye week now, so we get to rest up a little bit, recover. These guys have been going extremely hard for the last 9 months, so it'll be nice to get that recovery, and then we got 4 tough ones to end out the season.
Absolutely. Well, I'm happy to be here to experience it. We did get a varsity and JV win with volleyball tonight too, so a big wins in the house tonight.
Champions, yes, ma'am.
Well, that's all for us. Thank you, Coach Hovick. Congrats on your first year, and I hope that we have a great rest of our night. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, pleasure.
Thank you, Ariana.
My pleasure. Yeah, congrats.
Chandler Hovick, Coach Hovick, nice job tonight. Congratulations. You and your staff have earned the opportunity to have a cool one tonight and enjoy yourselves and take advantage of the short week, if you will, in this case. And you go back to work next week. You guys get Westwood at their place. But fantastic victory here at home. The champions improved to 4-2, and they did it with a balanced attack.
4-2, packed house, and like you said, they did it without using their 2 superstar receivers. They showed that they can win a much-needed game with their run game and tremendous defense and a special teams touchdown as well. So nice job by Coach Hovick. 4-2 Chavez, and his happy times down here in Levine.
For Roy Lopez, we've probably run out of superlatives for what we can say about Lopez and his staff, but they were outstanding tonight in a tough environment on the road, short-handed again. They only had 30 guys that suited up tonight, 4 guys banged up as well. They played their guts out. They played well, and they played and did what they could of that game plan. They just ran into a better football team tonight.
I know it's cliche, but their defense played well enough to win. Their defense played their hearts out, and so that's what's killer. It was their best defensive performance throughout the year. And I just thought the effort and the energy, it did not look like an 0-5 team. Unfortunately, they dropped to 0-6, and tough sledding for the Jags. Hopefully they keep their heads up because I feel like next week against Tolleson is their best opportunity to get in that win column. But, man, I'm impressed with the performance. Offense, you want to see the offensive group put it together.
The champions have won 4 of their last 5 games. They're sitting in the penthouse in the 6A Fiesta region with that 1 win. And just a great win for the champions here at home in a short week. We are off next week. The Zone 48 has a bye next week. I believe we will pick up play the following week. Where
Verrado.
are we?
Going to Verrado.
I believe we are in the White Tank Mountains. It is Verrado, and who is that? Who's our game next week?
It's
I'm gonna pull it up
Verrado
right here.
and
it is Verrado and Cactus.
Love that.
Brian Bellis' squad, the Cactus Cobras. Hey, I'm telling you, folks, it has a chance to be an outstanding game. We'll see Cody in 2 weeks.
Yes, sir.
He'll be back with us at Horizon, 56th Street and Greenway. It's Higley and Horizon. And then our final game on the 31st on Halloween. It's Millennium and Xavier Prep girls flag football, the sport that's taken over the globe. Girls flag football will be there for all the action. For our outstanding broadcast crew, I want to say thank you to my guy, Greg Jones. It's been a long day for him. It's been a challenging day for him. For the Baker boys, outstanding work once again to my guy, Joey Mascaro. And, of course, for the debut, her broadcasting debut for Ariana Bright-Price. Thank you. Wonderful job tonight. And for my guy to my right, Cody Cameron. He's a dude in the broadcast booth. I'm Kevin Derryberry. Until next time, so long for now.